welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the one and only, the human turret, one of the best ARs to ever do it. Give it up for the world champ himself, Sam LaRue Octane. We got some of the best analysis in the game. The world champion, Christopher Duarte, Parasite. We got the multi-champion, a multi-world champion, a legend, an icon to the Call of Duty scene. Give it up for Patrick Price Aches. And then, of course, we got the one and only, the executive producer of The Flank from Kitchener right now. Right, Benji? Are you in Kitchener right now?
No, I'm actually in downtown Toronto. I'm not in Kitchener yet.
Oh, you're in downtown Toronto. Oh, okay, so you haven't been to Kitchener yet. Ben, we'll start with you, the executive producer. How you doing, Benji? You doing all right, bro? You feeling good? It's been a while, man. We haven't ran a show in a while. There's been literally nothing going on in the Call of Duty scene the last few weeks. How you been, Benji? You been all right? You been good?
Yeah, I've been good. You know, I got into Toronto on Monday. Been here for 2 days. Saw the local boys yesterday. You probably saw some of the pictures. Some of my boys Seabass, and then was hanging out with Gersh in the Euros today. Shout out Trey Boy, shout out Rayless and them. They're actually out right now, so I'm gonna go link up with them after the show. But we're off to Kitchener tomorrow. We're doing a combo watch party. Me, Gersh, Trey Zero, and Aroma. So nice. That should be interesting, and excited to see what's going on in good old Kitchener, Ontario.
They're saying that they see a girl in the room through the reflection there. Benji, do you got a date?
I think that's cap. That's unfortunate, but
I don't know. People are saying turn the camera.
Turn the camera.
They think there's a date in there, but I mean, you never know.
There's no date, Chad. There's no date.
I didn't show the whole bed.
He only showed half the bed. Hey, what about you, Sam? Sam, you been all right, bro? How you been, Sam? What you been up to, man? Sam? What you been up to?
Figuring out what to stream every day, bro. It's the off season already, so going through that.
It does feel like the off season, doesn't it, Sam? It's felt like the off season the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been. There's no hype going up to champs. So I mean, we'll get into it, but I felt like I've been in the off season already for a while.
Yeah. What about you, Duarte? Chris, I see you on rank play every day. Hey, I gotta give you a round of applause, Chris, because man, I mean that is just
painful.
That
needs to be institutionalized.
I mean, what's it like, Duarte? What's it like over there in those streets? I haven't been in those streets in a while.
There's cheaters on console now, so that's cool. They got aim lock on there. Yeah, no bullshit.
Way.
Anyways,
on console, how are they doing that?
It's like a AI program that watches your game through a capture card. I don't know, it's complicated, but I'm good. I've been doing this whole multi-streaming thing now, so I've been reaching out to a bunch of platforms. I've been uploading more to TikTok. So I'm trying to kind of get into a groove or a routine, so that way when the next game comes out, I'm kind of already acclimated to it. Besides that, I mean, same shit, different day, man. Just kind of weighing out champs, and I'm still excited for the event. It's been a while, but we can't forget the couple events we've had before. They were pretty good. So.
Oh yeah, I'm excited too. I mean, when it comes to majors and it comes to champs and actual events, I mean, COD is lit. It's just, I think, like Sam said, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, Chris, I actually saw one of your TikToks actually the other day. I was scrolling. I was like, is Duarte uploading?
algorithm.
Yeah, I was like, is Duarte uploading TikToks? That was the first one I've seen from you. So yeah, keep that up, bro. I love that, bro. I'm always on TikTok scrolling away. So it was cool to see that. What about you, Pat? Patrick Price, the Slayer in the building. Pat, how you been, man? Pat, did you move again?
What's good, Tom? Yeah, I just moved. I never like to stay in one place for too long, Tom. I had to relocate. I'm still in Texas, but just relocated. Other than that, man, I'm good. I'm just still doing my thing. But yeah, I mean, to Sam's point, bro, I deadass thought it was. I thought the season was over. That's why I pinged the chat. I'm like, yo, everything's done, right? Because I hadn't heard nothing. Yeah, nothing was on my feed. Nothing. Nobody was talking about COD. I swear, I saw people playing Splitgate. That's all I saw. When I loaded up Twitch, I just saw pure Splitgate and Counter-Strike on the left.
A lot of Splitgate partners are running the streets. They're running the streets rampant right now. To be honest, it looks pretty fun. I see some people playing it from judging by just asking people. It seems like people really enjoy Splitgate. People are having a good time on it. Sam, you've been on it, right? How is it? Is it good?
Movement's really fun. That's kind of my main selling point about the game. It's just you can go a million miles an hour. That's just all I care about.
Yeah, that's cool. That is cool. I've seen a lot of people. They've been grinding that, but I think the biggest, I think the most popular game right now in the Call of Duty space is CS. It seems like everybody's been on the CS grind, opening cases, and of course the major was this past weekend in Austin, Texas. I'm not sure who here watched the major, but I was doing watch parties all weekend and watched the whole major. And man, let me tell you, bro, CS does it right, bro. Counter-Strike, they know what they're doing, man. The production, the way they put these events together, just even the crowd and the fans and the different chants and the trumpet in the crowd and them singing and just the energy. Just the venue was just absolutely incredible. It was awesome to watch, bro. I was obviously rooting for the FaZe boys, and it fell a little bit short, but it was just an awesome event all around. Matter of fact, here's actually a tweet from Rafi, just kind of comparing the two. My bad. Am I muted? Do you guys hear me? I'm muting myself.
We're here.
No, we hear you.
Going.
That stage is amazing, by the way.
This is the CS stage right here, as you guys can see. And I mean, it looks great. I mean, the CS stage looks phenomenal. This was the event over the weekend. If I remember correctly, I don't even think this was Sunday. Like, this might have been like a Friday or something. Like, I don't even know if this was even just like the championship day. Like, it was, when I tell you it was packed all weekend, it was packed all weekend. I didn't see an empty seat all weekend long, which is incredible, man. And obviously the fans are bringing the energy. And then next picture is the Call of Duty events. So you can see the side by side here.
Hold on, this is such a fugazi tweet though. Like,
this is the
if you're gonna
don't don't.
It's such a seek out of Rafi for fucking Twitter points.
Go ahead, Ben. What don't you like about this tweet, Benjay? What don't you like about it, man?
I mean, if you're gonna do this fucking tweet, at least post a picture from COD champs, not from
Y'all remember the Halo World Championship with the balloons?
Oh, that shit is so funny, bro. That shit was so funny.
That's what I feel like.
ESL Studios in Burbank.
Miami,
that's what I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's also dope. It's also dope when they announce, this major's been announced since like last year. So like people also have plenty of time to like prepare for it and like get tickets and, get their travel accommodations. So, I mean,
but I feel like that's
right, bro.
That's just part of the problem, bro. Like, and I've said this for a long time. The problem with COD esports as a whole is like people go to CS and even other games because the esport itself is watched for the love of the game, bro. We don't have that. Like, we don't have that love of the game aspect on a big of a scale as other games have. Like, we've talked about it before. Like, some people's favorite teams go out and they don't give a fuck about the tournament no more. Like, they're not there for the game itself. They're not more fans of the game, and I think that's been the biggest hurdle for COD, and I think it continues to be and will always, because, bro, it's just like we roll the dice on whether you get a good game or a shit game year to year. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. I also feel like, I mean, my big problem too is like we get in this cycle where every COD comes out every year, so like the events themselves, I mean, naturally, the Call of Duty hype for the current title dies so fast. Like, I feel like we're in the fucking TikTok brain rot generation even more because, bro, the interest of a game dies so much faster than it used to. Like, bro, it's May, June, they're dropping trailers. We don't give a fuck. Like, people don't, the bigger audience, like, obviously the hardcore COD fans are here and they care about it, but like the bigger audience, they don't give a fuck about Black Ops 6 no more. They're on to the next thing.
And there's been a problem since forever, Pat. As far as I can remember watching COD, like May, June events always just didn't,
I don't necessarily agree with that. Like Anaheim was always a summer event, and that was always one of the bigger events. It's also a reason that I actually like the early COD champs, and for that reason, because like the hype of the game itself was still at peak when it was April and May. Versus like, when we get into, obviously it's not as bad, but like we had in CWL days, like we had September and October champs before, and like we're already in the new cycle. So I don't know. It's a problem that I think is not gonna ever get solved. But yeah, back to the pitcher stuff is just like, I mean, so many people go to CS events for pure love of the game, and like, yeah, that's always gonna be the separator.
I just blame the fans, bro. We don't have a working scoreboard, and it's the end of the year. So.
It's not about blaming the fans. It's about like people don't care about COD the same way CS fans care about CS because
they don't make a good game.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like they're not as invested in the game as you know.
I just think CS, and it probably is just a little bit of just luck and accent. Like if you go to a CS event or just watch CS esports, the way that the game plays and the pace of it just makes it perfect for a spectating experience. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. There's runs. There's drama. It just by nature like really flows particularly well, especially when you're in a LAN environment.
There's snipers.
Yeah, there's smokes and snipers. And look, CS is a global game. It's a free-to-play game now. And it's played, and you saw, if you watched a major, one of the big stories at the major is a team from Mongolia. made to the finals. You're not really going to have that level of global or regional participation in COD, at least at the moment.
What a story!
Yeah, but it doesn't. Ben, I feel like the global thing only helps. Like, bro, like the difference is they could go to any country in the world and sell out an arena. Like, that's where the global dominance helps. But like, bro, Call of Duty, as big as it is in the U.S., like, we still look at the fucking Miami example, bro. Like, this is where Call of Duty dominates, and they couldn't even fill a fucking high school gymnasium. Like, I think it matters, but it's still a problem.
COD on a global scale, I don't think COD's ever going to take off on a global scale, especially like with like controllers. This is like a different conversation, but like controller, like esports is so like niche to like things in the US, whereas in like every other region, like every esports like keyboard and mouse based, and most people game on like keyboard and mouse like on these PC games. So I think that's another issue. That's why there's not as many people playing on a national or on a like international scale. But I mean, you can't even blame, like I said, you can't even blame the fans, bro. They just don't come out with good games anymore. There's problems that they fail to solve every single year, and they just brush under the rug. So people gradually lose interest. Even the hardcore fans lose interest. So, I mean, it's just, it's a hurdle that I don't know if we'll ever be able to climb.
I mean, the biggest indicator of it for me was, Major 2 this year. I think Optic always run a great event and a great venue, but, because their team wasn't playing that well, the venue wasn't as full throughout the weekend. I just don't think we have as many hardcores, bro. People, like, if you saw the CS major all weekend, there were some matchups on Saturday that were, like Mongols versus Pain is not the world's largest draw, but there was not a single seat in that venue that wasn't full and filled on Saturday at CS. So I agree. It's just going to be hard to get there. I think the path forward for COD is just continual growth via like kind of combo events in a DreamHack, or doing like we did a Raleigh Major 1 a couple of years ago. You got Warzone, you got Code Bowl, you got COD Mobile, and it's just sort of a COD festival type experience rather than a one-off.
It starts with a good game, because I think growth is still going to be limited to the fact that the games have just not been good. They just don't retain. I mean, like, look at it from like a YouTube or streaming perspective. Like multiplayer from like a YouTube viewership perspective dies. The people that carry it are the people that are doing content that isn't playing the game. Whereas if you go to like other games, right, like pro players and their streams a lot of the time carry viewership a lot. Whereas like, and this isn't a shot at anyone, but like Tommy, for example, Tommy, you're the biggest like Call of Duty multiplayer streamer, and you don't even play as much anymore. You just do like the watch parties and stuff. You Scump, all those guys, they carry it. So it's just like,
my bad, Tom.
They got to come out with a better game, bro.
Bro, I play Call of Duty.
Verdansk killed multiplayer,
but there's really nothing to play. See,
no, I know what you mean. I
would be playing Call of Duty if there was something to play on Call of Duty. I mean, bro, there's been a couple days where I hop on ranked and my whole chat's just like, dude, get off. Like, just get off. Like, the whole chat spamming.
Hackers
like,
make it unplayable.
Yeah, it's just unplayable. Like, it's just not.
I mean, this is all a moot point until until that's fixed. We could talk about what type of game we want all day for hours, bro. It's just hackers every year, all year. It doesn't matter what the quality of game. It doesn't matter the maps. It doesn't matter the guns. It doesn't matter if it's BO2.
Console anymore, bro. There's cheaters.
It doesn't matter.
Too.
We're getting
that's
hacked.
That's not going to fix your CS comparison, because out of the box CS, whether you're playing it serious comp or you're just like casually playing it, it's 5v5 is what it is. You just have too many different types of hoppers experience on COD, and we're 1% of the fucking population.
Ben,
That's just how it is.
I do want to expand on that, actually, because we got into this the other day. Me, you, and Tony, right? We were in the TeamSpeak, and we were talking about this, right? How like CS is kind of made around competitive, right? And then I feel like even if casuals were to play CS, like they're still playing like the competitive product, because that's what the game was built around.
I've been saying this for years.
Right.
I know casual on CS is 10v10, but nobody fucking actually like really grinds it.
Kinda.
Wait, but bro,
that's the whole issue.
But it's built around competitive.
And I think that's a problem that, like, and we've talked about this before. It's like a product of skill-based matchmaking. Like, bro, CS has, well, we can talk about deathmatch, whatever, but CS has one mode, and it's fucking ranked. Like, that is what you play. Yeah. And you know, if you're casual and you're fucking ass, and Valor did the same thing, you're fucking bronze or you're silver, like, and that's okay, and you still can play a million games and be fucking perfectly okay that you're in bronze or silver. There is something about how Call of Duty has went about it that it's like, bro, if they introduced the same system where they like visualize skill-based matchmaking and it was a true rank, and bro, players would get upset and want to quit. I don't know what happened, but like it's
SBMM. Like the SBMM.
You call You call COD players pussies? Is that what it's?
Yes, bro. I'm saying it in like a way that like the COD players can't fucking. They hate the idea that they're ass.
Wait, hold on. You know what's crazy? I had this conversation. SBMM created so many problems when it came to Call of Duty. Put it this way: if you're a casual player and all you do is play against players of your level because of SBMM, whenever you rarely see a player that is way better than you, you can't even fathom it. You immediately think they're cheating. So what do you do as a casual? You automatically assume that good players are cheating, or two, in order to reach their level, you assume I can't actually get better. The only way I'm going to get better is by cheating, and that also spikes that issue. All of the SBMM created so many issues for the way players like start cheating, or like their mentality when it comes to like getting better at the game. It's ridiculous, and no other game is like that. Like if you go play casual in fucking CS or Valorant, it's just random.
This leads me to my next question, because this is where the arguments kind of stem from when we were talking about it. If COD were to focus the game around it being a competitive game, would the casual players still play the game? Yes or no?
Yes.
Because I argued yes, but Zinni and Ben didn't agree with me. They basically said no. They
I think the competitive aspect, yeah, but the rank aspect, no. I genuinely don't think that. I think we've like COD players have been so brainwashed and handheld for the last 10 years. Like I genuinely think if they knew they were getting on and they were bronze or whatever, they wouldn't have fun. Because of like how Squid's Matchmaking has wired them. But like I think and I've argued this for fucking ever. If fucking pubs had GAs, or the game itself was naturally competitive, like shit made sense, they would not know or care. No one is paying attention to that shit on a casual level. They wouldn't even know the difference. The problem is the ranked aspect. The way COD is handheld and like baby-fed players for the last 10 years, they could not come up with a system that was true only ranked, and they would not get the same players. Absolutely not.
Have a casual playlist and a ranked playlist, but like I said,
but if you only had like the same thing, if you only had one playlist where everything was ranked, they would not do it.
Okay.
Also,
but
like,
the rules are irrelevant.
You agree, Tom, and I agree with you. Like, I don't think fucking John from down the block is going to notice the difference between there being a Claymore in the game or not. He's just going to load up and shoot his gun.
Yeah.
Bro, I used to live with my sister and my brother-in-law, and he's a casual gamer. He's a fucking policeman.
Yeah.
He came home every day and he loaded up shipment and hip fired literally around the map, and he had all of the default settings on, motion blur. Like, he doesn't fucking know the difference. He's just spawning in and shooting bad guys. Like, they're not going to notice a difference at all.
That's what I said. I don't think they'll notice the difference either. I don't think people argued that the casuals would notice the difference, but I really think if you dumb down a game and took out all these extra attacks and took out all this extra shit, bro, I feel like a casual player won't even care. Maybe some people will, but I still think the casual will still play.
The funniest shit when we talk about taking away all the shit that was added, it's like that shit was not forever in the game. Like, let's go back to COD 4. World at War, MW2. You know how bare bones those games were? Like, they had some bullshit like one man army or whatever. But like, bro, you had a gun, a red dot, and you could have 3 perks. And it's like, casual wise, Call of Duty was the biggest it had ever been.
Now,
like multiplayer.
Another thing I want to say, and I was talking to Clayster about this. Okay, what if COD was played outside the box? And before you go, just let me finish, right? If COD was played how it is out the box, fresh out the box, the developer support would probably be way more to the competitive scene if the game was played outside the box. And people might say, well, then people are going to use this or going to use that. But then if they use this and they use that, they're going to sacrifice other things, right? This was a Claystore argument. I still think you're going to have to dumb it down a little bit. But what do you guys think about playing Call of Duty out of the box? No GAs, nothing. Just out the box.
Let me go, because I have one thing. It changes absolutely nothing from a developer standpoint. It changes nothing for how many people are interested in the game. The only thing it changes is that the competitive product is worse. That's it. Everything else is going to be the exact same. How many people tune in? Same number. How many fucking devs actually care and want to be involved? Same number. Mm-hmm. How much support we get? Same number. All the same. It's just the competitive product is worse. That's the only thing that changes.
Yeah.
I just think there will always be some base bands that just are going to get rid of just by nature of their items. But like, I just think hopefully the players wouldn't be giant pussies. But based on the way the conversation went last year, unfortunately, Ernie's going to wake up one day, get cooked by some stacked AR class in the second scrim, and that gun's going to be out of here. I'm going to be on to the next AR, and then it's like going to happen to another team. It's just going to be banned.
Why
GG's.
Ernie, man? Why'd you
like
call,
the pros are not willing to do it. No, I'm not calling out Ernie. I'm just kidding. I'm just making a joke. I mean, I just think the players, when we tried to kind of broach this issue with them in the fall of, hey, like, the GA, I don't know if you guys saw the Shroud clip, right? Shroud was watching the major and it came up about COD and they were making jokes about snipers and this and that being GA'd. I just don't think the pros would be willing to be open-minded. I had a 12-round conversation.
The closest thing we had
about it in the fall, and I learned that they're all just morons, but go ahead.
The closest thing we had to out of the box was like how Black Ops 3 handled it with like ban and protect, because there was so much shit that was like in the game, and some of the things that they used might be like annoying and egregious. But like even that game, if you like looked at it, when certain things were allowed, it's not like you had every single player running around with it. For example, like the Shiva or whatever. It's not like you had 4 Shivas on each team. So with COD, if they did allow way more things, I don't know if you would have run into issues with that, at least most of the time. They will usually end up nerfing things like that where it's just overly dominant, but I feel like it takes too long. And with how the season is, like you would almost run into like maybe like like 2 major splits where like something would be massively broken before it got changed. And like Pat said, I don't think it would change anything. It would just make everything worse.
Yeah.
Listen, I hate to toot my own horn, but I literally made a entire solution to fix this problem. I made a great presentation. It solves this problem, and the response I got from the pros is, well, none of us would ever get in a call and meet and talk about this shit anyway. Because as we discussed in the GA stuff last year, when stuff is getting banned, there's no convo. They're just rolling a vote in the chat, and no one's actually talking about the merits of shit. The pros are fucking lazy, and they're the biggest problem in this impediment. I don't think the developer and the CDL, I think they're down for it. It just comes down to the pros. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest, they're not going to change the way they're going to be. To be honest,
is that what I was saying during the major, or was that on the watch party where I was with Clay and them when I was just like since 2020 the generation of pros and the mindset has just completely fucked the scene. I think that it's just like it's gone from like the good of the game and things happening the way that it needs to for expansion and growth of the scene to just like pure selfish bias. Like I just think that I just think this entire current pro generation are a bunch of pussies.
You could argue that on a league standpoint too, Sam. Like I don't even think it's just the pros. Like you could argue it from high ups. Like it's the exact. Like, it's the same problem. Like, it was a pure selfish play. Like, bro, I don't think the CDL product...
And fucking
yeah, bro, I don't think there has been any... I mean, bro, obviously there's some good apples. But, like, I don't think there has been any concern about the growth and the success of the league from the league since the CDL. Obviously there's passionate people involved who care. But, like, in a more generic standpoint, absolutely not, bro.
Well, I think that's a product of a more macro esports thing where like Bobby Kotick and all these upper executives at Riot and EA, they saw this VC money coming in. They're like, well, can we build this league format we can get billionaires to buy in and they can 10 or 100x down the line? And unfortunately, COVID happened and their ideas sucked. And now all the money's not there. I think it's
how many are still involved? Do we have like a checklist? I mean, like I know Overwatch is like they're all gone, but like is there like a checklist?
All the franchise sports are struggling. Like Valorant has obviously
no. But I'm talking about purely COD.
Within COD.
Yeah, like all the big VC or rich family, whatever that got involved, are they all gone?
No, a bunch of them are still around. I mean, Cox and the Hamiltons are still around. I think Rocker was always in the business of eventually doing an M&A, and they found the right.
Yeah, but they're out.
Yeah, they're not out, but they're
Cronkies are out. They're basically out. Cronkies are out.
The Aqualanis are still out.
NRG group is gone. NRG group group is gone.
Energy is a bit of a weird situation. That was more of
the Miami.
That was not a Bobby Kotick thing, but like.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about Bobby. I'm talking about the interest from the VC backed groups or the rich family backed groups. They're all gone. Like for the most part,
not all of them.
I would say
80 to 90%.
I would say 30. I would say 40% of them are out, but that's more of a market trend. Like when you look at it, but when you look at esports in general right now, like there just isn't people doing these crazy raises from VC firms athletes and celebrities and people with money, like the bubble popped. And so it's just a bit of a different economic kind of situation. And we've talked about on the show this last year, you know, the rumors right now are that if there's going to be a team swap, someone buying out a spot, it's probably going to be a foreign non-US entity, like the Saudi situation. So
I just think that we're trending as a competitive scene. I feel like we flew too close to the sun in like with COVID and just the money. And I feel like we're getting down to like a hard reset, or they're just the need for a hard reset to happen in order to like realign COD back to what it used to be. Like, I think everything just got too big. There was too much money. There was too many important decisions being made. And like now it's on such a shit downward spiral that they're just top to bottom. There just has to be a mentality shift about how to like regrow the scene from the bottom.
Yeah, they skipped.
That's what it feels like.
They skipped steps with the whole franchising thing. I mean, it was just COD wasn't ready to take a step like that, and they tried to do something to COD that you just can't do. Right? We say this all the time, bro. This is not the NBA. This is not the NFL. Right? It's not the MLB. Right? This is Call of Duty esports. Right? It's completely different. It should have never been. They tried to make it like an actual sport, and it just didn't work. Right? It's just like
I don't necessarily even resent the people coming in. I just wish, or the money coming in, I should say, I just wish that they had kept the people around to make decisions that were important that were already here. Like people that grew the scene with, you know, Adam, and just the system that was in place that was tried and true over the years. I wish that we had the best of both worlds. We had the support, and we had the money and the player security with the people that made the fucking scene what it is.
I would argue there is deserved resentment though, because those guys came in.
The people that came in can fuck themselves.
No, but they also hired some of the dumbest people.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the people that make decisions.
It was fucking mind blowing.
Bro, the people that were running at times the marketing and the broadcast league the first couple of years, they didn't quite understand. Do you remember like how hesitant they were to talk about online issues and GAs and any of the like drama that MLG had no problem talking about? Like these sports folks came in and just didn't understand the product that they were trying to sell to sponsor partners and the audience. Like they would, you know, you would sit down in meetings and talk to them like, you know, why don't we have a December event? And they're like, well, we like the mystique of not seeing these teams play till January. And I'm like, what? You don't understand how the internet works. People want to see these teams play on day one, Optic versus FaZe in a kickoff tournament. They want to see these guys play 17 times online before the land.
We're allowed to play tournaments as full teams, random online tournaments.
Still not allowed to do that.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, I mean, you were getting fined.
That's your fucking case, man.
You were getting fined for tweets that was doing nothing but going viral and growing the scene just because it showed negativity. Like, bro. Yeah. Oh my God, bro. There was
tournament. Even with the case on tournament, it was only 4 teams too. Remember that? I mean, bro. The amount of times we tried to get full franchise teams in a 12-team tournament. I mean, bro, we can run those tournaments like once a month, twice a month. We can do those all the time. They just won't let us do it. They refuse to let the scene grow. They refuse to add extra content. It makes zero sense.
So we get Case on to talk about it because it is solvable, but it's tricky. But the thing I'll say this is, and maybe some of y'all know this, like there was always a bigger play beyond the CDL. Why do all these billionaire owners and Bobby Kotick want to get in? Because prior to COVID, they saw an opportunity, a real estate play. This was really part of a real estate play because these entities thought, look, we have this buy-in that's obviously amortized. You're kind of paying it over time. The salary costs or whatever, but it gives us an opportunity to build a multi-use venue, 4,000 or 5,000 people. And part of the programming is Call of Duty, is Overwatch, is Valorant, is whatever. You're going to get musical acts, and then suddenly now you own the building that all this shit is operating in, and you're raking cash on top of the media rights money and the revenue you're getting from the league. Unfortunately, COVID happened on top of the fact that the idea sucked to begin with, and this is how we're at. So, GG's.
I should have known when I wasn't allowed to leave that room without signing something.
Yeah,
I should have known.
I think
then and there.
I think we all kind of right then and there.
Right then and there, bro. That player meeting in 2020, should have known.
Yeah, Sam, we talked about ban and protect and how you wanted to maybe see that come back.
That's my whole shit, bro.
The only thing I didn't like about ban and protect is that it was a race to what was saved and what was banned. If they didn't,
the system was flawed, but the system itself was a great add to COD.
Yeah, if they changed the system a little bit to where like it was more consistent and like one team goes at a time and it's not really like a race, because I feel like it's so dumb, like racing to like what's being saved.
It should have been one team at a time.
Okay, solve that in 1 second with actually making it a rule, like in the rule book, that you would pick a team A, team B, and you just actually, it's not a race, you just
like
pick
that,
it in the order.
bro. The reason, listen, bro, I'll go to bat for ban and protect until the day I fucking die. It is the only thing outside of vetoes that actually influence how you think about going into a series. Think about the team A, team B thing. Not only is it important for vetoes, now you look at it like, we'll use League as an example because I'm sure most people are familiar with that. You use team A, team B to decide red or blue side. You get to decide whether you want to ban something important or protect something important off rip. Or on team B, you get to protect the last thing or ban the last thing. Like it adds such a layer of competitiveness to COD that is just not running forward and shooting your gun. That's all competitive COD is now. You just get in the same gunfight with the same gun, whatever, bro. Ban and protect is the only thing that has ever come into COD to like actually change how people think about going into a series. And I know the argument is like, oh, what if they fucking protect rapid fire? Then use rapid fire, dude.
The other argument is
if you're a better team, you're not going to get cheesed by a team with rapid fire. You're going to beat them with rapid fire. Them having rapid fire does not make them a better team than you. That's always the stupidest fucking argument every time.
Yeah.
Well, the argument is like it makes scrims weird because people are playing off meta, but like I would argue that's actually part of the fun in it. Is like people can kind of via this kind of establish your own mini meta, or maybe because of talent, run people off meta if they make things weird.
I might be stupid here, but there's other games with banning systems for like champions or operators.
Yeah, but the problem is what we're banning though.
They practice the same way. They use this shit that they want to do, or they pocket something that they think is OP, and they show up on stage like the Volk with LAG did in Vanguard, and they win a tournament because of it. Hats off to them. They knew that shit was OP.
Yeah.
Do your homework. Play the game.
I mean, what's also...
Yeah, I feel like that's... Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris. What are you going to say? Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, that's another thing is, like, nowadays, like, you don't get, like, rewarded for, like, knowing the game, bro. It's fucking...
Oh, sorry, I'm cutting everyone off. I'm getting passionate.
You're good.
Bro. You get shit on because look at New York with the wall bangs. Everyone thought that shit was cheese. They just tried harder than everybody. Look at the Ordnance gloves. They just tried harder than everybody did. And they got punished for it.
I forgot about the Ordnance glove shit.
They got punished because they were putting in work.
Wait, Tom, one more. Tom, one more.
Hey, Nate Shot came in and he said I had to open a case mid flank. So hey, when Nate Shot says I gotta open a case, you gotta open a case, man. You know what I mean? But we didn't get no gold.
Tom, your next one's a knife, bro. I swear to God.
I was gonna say nowadays, bro, people don't even do their research on the game. It's fucking June and people are still running balance stock because it gives you a buff to movement when it actually fucking doesn't. Like people don't actually. I said this on stream because I talk about like ranked in the game and people ask me why I use this and why I use that. There's so many pros that just use shit, they copy other people, and they don't actually know what they're putting on their weapon. They don't know why it's better. They just play off the feeling. And like back in the day, like even in BO3, bro, if you knew how like different guns or different perks like actually really affected gameplay, you could abuse that and use that to your advantage. Nowadays, shit doesn't fucking matter, bro. You just spawn in the same class as everybody else and shoot your weapon.
Get the same.
Like I said, a lot of this, obviously, ban protect system the players can't control. But I think the biggest, I've started to come around the camp that I think the biggest limiter, ultimately, I think is just the players and the way that they act like giant pussies about it. No one's take responsibility for how we've gotten into the issue. Like I just don't know what to say anymore about it. We try to fix it, and I don't know what we can do from the outside other than just continuously call them out.
Bro, people, we were talking about this last, and Zinni was like, Tom, when you were a player, you would be biased to this and that. Bro, when I was a player, we were playing with Overkill. We were playing with Snipes. We were playing with Smokes. We were playing with all this shit when I was a player. So I don't understand where this changed and where this went downhill. I mean, I would imagine that if I was a player, I'd still want an entertaining game and an entertaining
I can tell you where it went downhill, bro.
Where did it go downhill?
2019
to 2020, bro.
Did
that
Warzone ruin competitive COD? Go ahead, guys. Did Warzone ruin?
We were fucked before that, before Black Ops 4, because if anything, it's 2017 to 2020. And they were starting to actually work on the title.
I mean, bro, we had
you just gave a 3-year fucking window.
Yeah, we were just chalked to the end of the CWL.
Brother,
I don't think it necessarily ruined it.
Bro, think about Ghost S&D. Best S&D game of all time, in my opinion. And that had smokes, that had thermals, that had... Bro,
and the maps weren't even good.
The maps were
The perk system in Ghost was so fucking good.
No one was crossing B on Warhawk with my strong arms, bro. Know that.
You had to give up so much to have, like... incog
was
run
5,
smoke
bro.
or run strong arm. Like there was a give and take everywhere, dude. You couldn't be a super soldier.
You had to
Like
think
that's
about what you were
Optimus
doing.
missing, man.
Pick 10 and the Ghost System's 1A, 1B, bro. I don't care.
That's what that's what I'm saying. That's why I go to bat for Ban and Protect, bro. Just because there needs to be something else to make players use their fucking brains other than just shooting straight.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be more. There needs to be levels
More
to
depth,
competitive Call of Duty, bro. There has to be.
It's a great idea. Theoretically, I mean, I could say this. Theoretically, the CDL could bring it back. You don't need an in-game tool to do a ban and protect system. That's what I'm saying.
It makes Team A and Team B matter so much more.
No, that's not true. You would need an in-game tool. And the problem is with the in-game tool, and this is something that always sucked with Ban and Protect, is fucking it took so damn long, bro. Like the intro to a game
was to remake all your fucking classes.
15, yeah, to get into a game, bro. I think it was 60 seconds per thing. Then you had to pick the fucking heroes, and then you had to do the create a class, which you needed 5 minutes for. I don't remember what the in-game timer was. But yeah, that was a slow process. That's why I said in theory it works, but it needs a lot more.
You should do them prior. You should do it prior to the series. Have your classes set and have a respawn set for whatever respawn modes, and then have an S&D set.
But I will say, I don't think we will. I actually feel pretty confident. I don't think there will ever be another built-in in-game system like that ever again.
Yeah, I don't think
because that was a pure competitive only system, bro, and I can tell you that system took a lot of work and was obviously had a lot of push from a director level, likely Vaughn, maybe Maddox. I don't know who would have been involved in Black Ops 3, but obviously Treyarch saw the Black Ops 2 success and they wanted to push really hard for something. That shit will never happen again.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You see what Matt?
That takes a lot of work.
You see what he put in chat? He said, when the strong arm nade 3-pieced off the ground 11, everyone wanted to burn the game to the ground.
That shit was gone immediately.
Hey, good times though, bro. Call of Duty Ghosts, man. I mean, that's where I first came up, and that game was incredible.
I thought you were talking about the Ordnance shit on Karachi.
I thought you came up with Black Ops 2. Were you not playing S&D?
I was playing. I was playing
first time playing
too, but I didn't.
First time competing, going to LANs.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, compete to us. Yeah.
Yeah. Duarte remembers. Yeah, I played Black Ops 2 S&D.
I was taking all the Tommy's credit.
Me and Tom used to play S&D against and with each other all the time.
Let's pivot because this tweet that you have on your screen, Tom, is just. I'm sorry.
I did want to pivot here. Listen, the pros are playing on an old ass patch from season 3.5, which is fucking insane. I mean, the fact that they can't even get on and play the game, they can't get on and play the game because it's not the same game they're playing. So it's just like they can't play ranked. They can't play any of this extra stuff. Like they can't do anything because they're literally playing a different game. All because of a broken scoreboard. Bro, I don't know how many times I got to say this, but we had a working scoreboard over 10 years ago. We are in 2025. How is the scoreboard broken? I mean, bro, shit like this, bro, is what's going to kill the esport. And in my opinion, it's just unacceptable and embarrassing. Like Dylan said, like Reddit said, it's just embarrassing. It's unacceptable. I mean, what do you guys think about this? I've been playing on the old patch. I mean, this is insane. Playing on an old patch.
That's crazy. But the scoreboard thing, again, is not surprising. I mean, whatever UI engineers that are involved in stuff like that are working on the new title and obviously have way higher priorities.
But it's the same systems throughout every title though, because we had the same broken scoreboard last year.
but they're in completely different builds and branches. Like, it may be the same problem, but it's like they're washed their hands of Black Ops 6. They've had
the same fundamental bug for 2 years, Pat.
And I guarantee you, QA has logged a Jira, and it's sitting there in a backlog that's just the lowest priorities of the lowest.
Then comes back to
think about who it affects. Like, it doesn't change their bottom line.
This is one of those things where rightfully this is on Activision, this is on the CDL, it's on the business unit of COD. Like I get your point, Pat. You said continuously about there are more important bugs and things that need to fix, but like there are up executives that need to, kind of speak to the marketing, PR angle of why that bug needs to be addressed, even though it's low level and doesn't affect a significant number of the player base. But you see this tweet, Tom. I know I tweet this. It's I think people at Activision do care. I think the problem that we said enough on this show is that they don't care enough. I think there are people.
I don't think they give a singular fuck.
There are people that passionately care about
they're not in positions of power. Then I'll tell you that.
But that's the issue. The people that actually make
we got the janitor at Activision loving competitive Call of Duty. That's who loves us. People that make the
decision on how money is spent. Those people don't care, and that is why you're seeing this economy compared to other esports. And I think it's really unfortunately affected a lot of the quality of life of the league. I think, for example, the marketing for Champs has been very poor in the last month. There's been no flow. Nobody from Activision has been doing any kind of PR, going on podcasts. We're trying to talk up the marketing around this event. There's been no hype pieces. There's been very few tweets. I know Ultra's been kind of doing their thing the best that they can, but the league is giving them like legit zero support as far as like the run up to this. And the fucking champ skin is an armadillo. What the fuck are we doing?
What is so I'm confused on your stance then, because what makes you think that they care? What is your evidence in which they give a fuck?
If they didn't care, then it would be like Nintendo, where they'd be like, we're not supporting esports at all. If you want to run an esport event, we're not going to support it. We're not going to give you a prize pool. That's not caring. The problem is that they care somewhat that we have this league and there's money in it, but they don't care enough that they're not investing resources to get some kind of ROI and growth.
So it existing is your point of them caring. That's what that's what you think.
No, because it's a fucking gray issue and not black and white. Why the fuck does everything need to be black and white on the goddamn internet? Clearly they care enough because it's a multi-million-dollar league that they're probably, I don't know, everybody's probably spending collectively what? More than $20 million between teams in the league to actually cover the cost.
But I think
it's clear enough that money's being spent.
Your argument for care is a little bit wrong, though.
It's some level of care. It's not enough care. Is the point I'm trying to make.
But that's not true, though. Like, and bro, this is a horrible example, but I'm gonna make it. Like, you could say a father, right? Just let's use a father, right? That's completely not invested in his kid's life whatsoever, but he still is paying child support. Would you argue that he cares about the kid just because he's paying child support? Because that's how I view it, bro.
That's a bad example. Hold on, that's a terrible fucking example.
It's not though, because
you're legally required. You're legally required to support child support.
But from Activision's standpoint, bro, they're basically in the same boat. Because they have supported this and because it exists, they basically are in a state where they're like having to continuously be in this loop where they're throwing X amount of money every year to get a bare minimum product. They don't care. They don't care. Care involves like people that are like getting invested in wanting to fix and solve problems and go through the fact that this needs to be fixed, this needs to improve, this is like this trajectory of growth. They don't care about that, bro. They are doing the bare minimum. There are allocated amount of money that is viewed as marketing spin for this league, and they're just in a routine every year. It's just the same thing. They don't care what happens to the league. And again, obviously there are good apples that care, but this is not what we're talking about. From a high level, they don't care. They're just stuck supporting the league in its current bare minimum state because of how big this scene had got over time, because of all the personalities involved, because of how many people have eyes on. Bro, well, I don't understand how you think they care, fundamentally care.
Bro, if they
because they're putting money up does not mean they care.
Listen, not caring is like what Nintendo has done with.
But that's not true. But that's not true. Nintendo has always been shit. That's not true.
Do you fall Smash Roll?
I know their esport is shit, but it's always been shit.
Do you know why their esport is shit?
Because Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. But they never give a fuck.
Nintendo is not only doesn't care, Nintendo has gone out of their way to ruin at times the growth of that esport. That is what not caring looks like. Having legit zero shit going on.
Ruin the growth of other esports.
No, because hold on, because everybody makes mistakes, as we've talked about. Players are making mistakes with their GA process. The league is obviously making mistakes with certain allocated spend and letting fucking Miami run an event in a high school ballroom. That's an L fucking decision. My point, because the original tweet, Tom, if you kind of click through to the reply,
what you're describing from Nintendo is resentment. They resent the idea of their game being an esport.
No, because I don't understand.
You can't just say that they have pure hatred and just lump that into not caring.
My problem is you guys have such a player POV on this. Clearly they care enough. They are spending bro, between the teams and the players and the league and EFG, I mean, there is 25 million being pumped into this every year. That is not a small amount of money. I think you guys are such a player.
But they can't cut it off, though, Ben. They can't cut it off. They can't cut it off. Do you know how many people would be up? Bro, do you know there are way too many eyeballs and way too many big personalities and way too many people invested in the scene that they can't just cold turkey cut it off and end it.
They could absolutely.
That's why they bare minimum
They could absolutely wake up tomorrow and say, look, we are not going to pump a single dime into esports. If you want to come and get a license to run a title and a game in esport, absolutely we'll agree to it. But we're not going to fund any of those prize pools or any production support. That would be not caring.
No, that is so much different than not caring, bro. Jesus.
I mean,
like you need the way you draw the line makes no sense. You basically said, okay, here's not caring, and everything on the other side of it is the same. And that's not how it works.
We need cases in Call of Duty.
Bro, I'm not
gonna be. Listen, Pat, I'm gonna be very kind to you. I'm not. You of all people contribute to a lot of the problems of the league, so I don't think you have the authority to speak on this one, brother.
That makes no sense. I'm not even involved in Call of Duty.
You were part of the economic problem that CUD has because of how you structured your relationship with LAG. So I don't think you have the right to really speak on this issue.
I'm not the problem. That makes no sense. I took advantage of really fucking stupid people. That has nothing to do with the economics of the league.
Yeah, and you fucked up the economics of the league for 3 years because of it. GG.
Bro, it had nothing to do with me, bro. COVID happened. This shit was never worth what people were paying. That's the reality of the situation. Whether it was me or 10 people or anyone else, it would have happened the exact same way. The only difference is my bank account went up before it blew up. Like, that's literally the only difference. But if the moment someone valued a Call of Duty spot at $25 million, that was the moment the economics of the league got fucked up. It had nothing to do with one player getting 400K. By the way, my whole team in that year got about 1.35 or 1.4 million. So again, it has nothing to do with me by myself. Everybody got paid on my team.
How many CDL points did LAG get that year?
I don't know. I played 1 game or 2 games.
they were freelo that season.
Pat played 2 games.
Also, let's not act like they haven't been freelo for 5 fucking years. First off,
they did win it. They did win an event in Vanguard. You have to tip that.
No one has to tip that. They like.
Bro, they won like 10 or 11 searches in a row. That has to be tips.
Boston won an NBA championship like the other year. Like, no one has to tip that shit.
Yeah, they had Tatum. Who's
OKC won fucking yesterday. No one has to tip that shit, bro.
Wait, the OKC are good. What the fuck are you talking about?
Bro,
they won the favorites to win the title going into the season.
Tommy, pull up JCap's tweet real quick.
JCap tweeted?
Yeah. It wasn't. It was like a day and a half ago. It was about OKC, bro. No one fucking. The way OKC plays basketball is fucking horrible, bro.
Yeah, they play old school. Listen,
they don't play old. What are you saying?
Nah, see,
unethical, boring ass hoops, bro.
Cap and I have talked about this in TeamSpeak with OKC. Listen, if I'm not to get too off topic, OKC has one of the historically best defenses this season. By a lot of analytics,
people's fucking hands while they're dribbling. That's why they had 7 people show up to their fucking parade, bro.
Well, they're also a small market, but OKC, fantastic defensive team, isn't the world's greatest offensive team, but because they play suffocating defense, they're able to grind out these wins, especially in a tough Western Conference. Yeah, it sucks that Halliburton blew out his fucking Achilles in Game 7, but I think OKC will probably had that dub, and to be honest, they're going to be good for a while because their team is really young. To say OKC is like a one-off is a non-ball knowledge of the how talented that fucking team is. Bro, they got talent. Everyone on the team is 25.
Boring. No one cares about OKC, bro.
Bro, their team was so young they didn't know how to pop champagne. They had to ask Alex Caruso, who did it during the fucking
Halliburton drops 50 on Terrence Achilles, and he celebrates on their own court.
He hit two 3-pointers in the first quarter. Sure.
Let's let the host take control. There's a question from Mama Zuma. Let's get back to Call of Duty. Question for the flank. Does the fact that Activision refunded the franchise fees have anything to do with their lack of interest? What do you guys think? It's a question from Mama Zuma.
I feel like that's the same. That's just following what happened to Overwatch, though, no? Like, they refunded everyone in Overwatch. I'm surprised they didn't go further with it, to be honest.
They were paying people in Overwatch to get the fuck out, not refunding them.
I thought it was still a refund, and they paid the difference of, like whatever how much they had spent.
They'd already played the parachute payments on Overwatch. It never really started for any of the COD teams because by year 1, COVID hit, so they basically excused everybody because of the economic conditions. So most teams have put in 0 at that point.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
In COD. I just think the COD TPA modification, team participation agreement, which included this a few years ago, is just setting the stage for where, and I think where we're going with this, I think COD Esports is kind of at a crossroads where I give one path, which is what we're on right now, which is this closed system that we don't agree with. And one is something akin to what we had during the CWL era, where you have your anchor teams, but you have the ability for a team to qualify in, and then open to participation. That funnel is ideally going to lead to, better engagement from younger players, more participation, more attendance. Like at some point, someone here with the power to do so, whether it's the CDL teams or the league or Activision, got to make a fucking decision about where we're going here.
We're about to have a hard reset, bro. That's
where is Overwatch now? Where is it? Like, how is it? Like, it's gone? Like,
it's like
Overwatch is
called
Overwatch.
No.
It's called Overwatch Championship Series.
Tom, it's gone, bro.
It's gone. Is it?
No, Tom, there is, but it's gone. You know what I mean?
It's basically pivoted to like a open participation model. In NA, it's pretty dead. Although I know college Overwatch is like kind of lit right now. So it was just a game that was never going to take off major in America.
Rivals,
it's still popular.
The majority of Overwatch is like.
Yeah, but Rivals is also suffering a lot of negative growth right now.
Overwatch was a bug on the floor, and Marvel Rivals just came in and stomped on it, and then fucking rubbed their foot.
And they came out. They came out like the same time that Overwatch did their big update too, didn't they?
Pretty relatively similar time.
Marvel Rivals literally put that shit in the dirt, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Which is crazy, bro. If you're Overwatch, you gotta be pissed, man. Gotta be pissed. Marvel Rivals just comes in, steals the whole flow. I'm like, bro, is there a situation where that happens in Call of Duty where like somebody else just makes a game that's like COD?
Well, to be honest, everybody's tried to make the killer COD arena shooter, and no one succeeded.
No.
COD's controller FPS market share is just the community is just too.
Especially because like Halo is fucking dead, Gears is dead.
Listen, I'm telling you that shit is cooked, and it'll never.
This is not a shot at Pat or anything with XDefiant. XDefiant's not COD. It was not COD. XDefiant was a different shooter game. It did not play like COD. It was completely.
No, it's just a super saturated market. Like that's the problem. I saw some random FPS shooter came out today too. Like I don't know if you guys saw fucking who tweeted it. Jake Sucky, I think I saw tweeted it.
Jake Sucky.
It's like it's a crypto back game, but it's another hero shooter. I mean, it's just such a saturated market, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll ever happen either because, like, for example, XDefiant went with the whole no SBMM route, right, for their casual playlist. And we already talked about the mentality of people that are fans of COD and the casual player base, when it comes to, like, them, like, playing the game. The vast majority of people online will tell you they don't want, like, SBMM and stuff like that, but those guys aren't casuals. So when, like, for example...
That's not really the problem though, Chris, because like
it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
But the casual
brainwash, bro.
No, for sure. But the casual player didn't even play XDefiant. Like they didn't even know it existed, and that's just because we see if you're like looking in a bubble of the internet world that you like all the feeds you look into and the Reddits and whatever, like it's just such a different world. Like the people that are just show up, open their Xbox, click an app, like they didn't even know XDefiant existed. They don't know a lot of games exist. Call of Duty just has so much brand power, and the problem nowadays is, the people that back these free-to-play shooters, like, they just don't have the resolve and the amount of money, especially in today's environment, to just support a game for the lifetime that it needs to even compete with a game like Call of Duty. Like they will pull the plug if it's not like a Rivals where it just drops and blows up. It's any game. This goes for any game. Is almost a failure. Like you will never. Because it's a money burn.
Marvel Rivals sells
for so long.
The Marvel brand.
Yeah. And their profit. I mean, dude, like, there's no telling how much money Marvel, gets from that IP license. Like, there's no telling. But
it's just like a startup.
Dropping free to play games in this saturated of a game market, like, and going against a game like Call of Duty, where the people that follow Call of Duty are basically like. Cult like it's all they've known for so long. There's so much brand power that all is Call of Duty. I mean, again, Warzone's free to play, but like still the idea that Call of Duty is selling $70 copies, I don't know how much longer that goes on for though.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on.
I think it's gonna get more expensive. Sorry,
Chris. I was gonna say, Chris, you were mentioning about controller being like worldwide. It's more like mouse and keyboard type of stuff, and I saw people in the chat saying Rocket League.
I didn't count that. It's not a shooter.
Yeah, it's not really a shooter, but it is a controller game. And then there was also an argument. People said Fortnite, but is Fortnite worldwide? Or is Fortnite, I don't know.
I was going to...
Is it worldwide or is that more NA?
100%.
It's
worldwide.
The biggest game of our generation.
Gotta be worldwide. Yeah.
Like competitive
it's not is it played big in Asia? I know at least Europe and ASA.
I am literally know nothing about Fortnite. That's why I'm asking. It's just a question. Like I don't know. Like, is it worldwide? I have no idea.
Chad's saying Apex, but even Apex is slowing down. Like Apex used to be a lot bigger than it is now. Like that game's also slowing down. There's a lot of esports that are like kind of going up and down, but
those are
Apex has been slowing down, like viewership and everything.
I mean, those are not just controller. Those are controller and mouse and keyboard, right? It's both.
Apex is still big, but it is slowing down. Yeah.
I wonder if PUBG is bigger than Warzone. Well, because of its worldwide player base.
If you had PUBG Mobile, probably.
PUBG Mobile is so fucking big in like the Philippines and Thailand and shit like that.
Yeah, but even like regular PUBG, bro, even regular PUBG is fucking crazy. PUBG gets 800,000 concurrents in 24 hours. Like, it's fucking massive overseas.
This could be a hot take, but I think they should allow mouse and keyboard in multiplayer COD. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
100%. I already said this. I mean, it's already.
I don't know what the problem is.
Even the best mouse and keyboard players in the world that play COD say how controller is OP.
Yeah, I don't.
Why the fuck wouldn't they just? Why don't they just allow it? Like, if there's somebody out there that hypothetically,
I was shitting on Nideshot PUBG Mobile, by the way,
could compete with M&K. Like, at least give him the opportunity to.
Yeah, kudos to him. If there's somebody who comes in and absolutely cooks on a mouse and keyboard, kudos to him. Hey, if he's really good on a mouse and key, he's really good on a mouse and key. I don't think it's a problem. I think people should be able to use whatever they want, whether it's mouse and keyboard or controller. There was a period of time where I thought mouse and keyboard was allowed, but nobody was using it because it's just ass for multiplayer COD. But
I mean, arena shooter keyboard and mouse is just hard. The amount of like close range fights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It's just always going to be. It's just always going to be aim
It
assist.
shouldn't be banned.
Just aim assist out the ass.
If aim assist wasn't as OP, then maybe you'd see more people. But aim assist on this game,
if it was S&D only, I feel like a mouse and keyboard player could compete. But bro, respawn is just too fast, way too close range. Like,
I literally took the words out of my mouth.
Speaking of Call of Duty and releasing new games every year, obviously we're getting another one for next season, and the rumors is Black Ops 7. Now, the rumor originally was that we were getting jetpacks, and that jetpacks were coming back. And then a tweet came out saying that wall running will not be in Black Ops 7, but then the Ghost of Hope tweeted, this guy, he's always coming out with intel, right? This guy's he's a leaker.
Yeah, he's randomly came in my chat on Twitch and just dropped literally intel bombs, nobody.
He gets very bored.
Well, so the official sentence was it's an advancement of Omni movement, right?
Yeah, from the COD pod, which is the podcast that Miles does, and then Hope added that it's like it's not wall running. It sounds like it's some kind of other wall jumping, wall sticking.
So it's Gears of War wall bouncing.
No.
Yeah,
it's like kicking off a wall to like get to like higher positions probably, and like they said that uplink is returning.
We've already had that though. That's just like the mantle double arm extend.
Uplink returning is actually a massive W for us because holy fuck, control has been terrible.
I mean, I'm just gonna
pretty much for years.
But if there's no jetpacks, isn't that pretty much just gridiron?
It's gridiron, but like in order to like dunk a ball instead of like just running into the portal, you would have to like wall bounce it into or like jump off the wall.
Gridiron was good in World War II. The maps are just not made for it, but functionally it could have fucking worked. Like I would much rather us try fucking uplink than control. Jesus.
I don't know. I really understand. I guess I really don't really understand how the wall bouncing is gonna work. I'm kind of excited.
This got to be the last year that controls played.
Bro, we gotta let uplink die with jetpacks, bro. We gotta do war or sabotage or but bro, there's other game modes. Like I get uplink was fun in the jetpacks, but it's like war has never even came back. When's the last time we had Sabo?
War games could go on for a while, right?
No, that's Sabo. That's Sabo. War games always ended because of fucking what they call it, momentum. Yeah, that shit was lit.
The people saying CTF in the chat, the problem with CTF is that it could play very slow. It's like control very dependent on maps and also spawn timing. And if you just don't get the right situation, it's just not going to be both fun to play or fun to watch.
Also, this is just I swear that I saw like a leak. So people think that like old maps are coming back, but I heard it's like reimagined old maps to like fit the like game or the movement or some shit like that. Is it? I don't know if
that's even worse. No.
Do you guys think it's?
Invasion was ruined, bro.
That could be either great or fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's like you have to play it to see if it's good or bad. I mean,
because if they're gonna add those like wall jumping mechanics to like get to, I mean, things would have to shift. They couldn't just be the same.
They didn't change a lot on Karachi, did they? I mean, I know Ben tried to create a new route, but they didn't change much on the map, did they?
No. The MW2 maps are that were in MW3. They were pretty faithful. I think.
They fucked up Invasion, bro.
What
they added routes that should have never existed.
Oh yeah, I do remember now.
Okay,
they added the DVD route.
We're gonna get to the word on the block is that I think we're starting to really get to sort of the beginning of the rollout for this new game. So I'm sure in future episodes we'll start talking about it. But I think we all agree more advanced movement tweaks might be a good add. But I'm hoping to your point, Chris, the map tweaks aren't terrible. It's how might happen overlay.
I didn't touch nothing. I didn't even touch nothing.
Did the flank
maybe it's because
ninja go down?
Nah, somebody must have went down in the ninja. I mean, I didn't touch anything.
I mean, it's showing Discord right now. That's a Discord.
All three of us are ninja.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's because I pulled up the Discord. Is it because I pulled up I don't know.
Yeah, you did. The Discord's on top of a couple of the cameras.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why that's doing that. That is really weird. But Benjay, you're gonna have to. Maybe I'm gonna have to pull up the bracket then.
You can. It's on the official Pick'em site. Just go to Pick'ems and you can do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll do that right now while we're talking. You said the Pick'em site on CDL?
Yeah. While you do that, I think there were a couple other topics you want to talk about, right?
Go ahead, Benjay. While I do this, why don't you talk about those topics? Get ready, Benjay. Hold on, before you go, Benjay will be hosting the show on Saturday. So for Call of Duty
absolutely,
I'll be at a wedding. So you guys know Benjay. Hey, now's your time, Ben. Now's your time to practice, bro. Go ahead, Ben.
Is that gonna? You have the setup, Ben, for that there?
Yeah. I'll have the setup. Okay. I think one thing we can talk about, and it came out in the last couple of days, D-Real did a little bit of a, kind of quasi-exit interview with Breaking Point, but then the news came out officially via him and Mark yesterday and today that they're being allowed to explore other opportunities away from LAG. So what do you guys think? Is this kind of the start of probably a lot of changes in the offseason, including coaching staffs, back office people, etc.?
I hope so. I think that'd be a good idea. I mean, I feel bad for D-Real because I think obviously D-Real had a lot of success at New York, and I like the way he approaches coaching, and I think he could bring a lot of value to a team. But I mean, it's just the results they had this year. They're going to start from literally the bottom until they cut their players, which undoubtedly they will with how they perform this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the rumor with LAG is that I think all options are on the table. I think they are going to attempt to. If there are players they like, they may attempt to participate in the buyout market. But I think there may be a lot of people potentially trying to pick off quality players from Optic FaZe and Thieves, and I just don't know if they're going to be successful in doing so. And
why is the logo not changed, bro?
I assume that's going to be fixed after this season. I assume that was a this season thing, and they'll have totally new branding for the following season. Now they've had time to actually, get in. Because about the time of the year, I know for example, it's a time of the year where people are talking to League and Activision about their skins and branding for next season. They got to start now.
Did any of you guys watch that Toronto 10K tournament? It was an AM tournament with pro teams in it.
I didn't.
I watched a little bit of it.
Okay, I got something I want to say about that tournament, man. The Stallions were supposed to play the Minnesota Rocker in that tournament, and the Minnesota Rocker forfeited and just left and said they're not playing. They say. Matter of fact, they said word for word, y'all can have that, and just left. So I kind of lost full because I was like, bro, what's the point of running these tournaments? Or if people are just gonna leave the tournament, what? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they probably weren't even scrimming or anything, bro. They were eliminated from champs. They don't play till EWC. They probably weren't. They weren't even scrimming.
Yeah.
How'd they get invited?
Well, y'all don't think that's crazy? Y'all don't think that's crazy that they're in a $10,000 tournament?
No, it is crazy.
And they just said, you know what, fuck this shit. I mean, I'd be playing in the tournament with the stream on, having a good time. I
mean, LAG lost. Falcons pulled out because Clay said the AG can't try against those teams. I don't know, dude.
So here's what I've heard. I've heard that it's a really weird situation. Going back to what we said earlier, it's a very weird situation right now for the bottom 4 teams for 2 reasons. One, obviously, potentially there are some roster changes coming after this event. But 2, they can't play any current pro teams because the patch for EWC is going to be the new patch, and the teams playing on champs are on the old patch. So the only teams that these bottom 4 pro teams can play is just other amateur teams. And I'm sure they're not super fucking motivated to do that.
I'm going to be honest, I don't even think they're playing, if I'm going to be honest. But either way, I mean, it was cool to see AM teams upset some of the pro teams when they did play them. They were putting in work.
Yeah, LG got
and
fried.
They've been grinding for champs.
Somebody said that Kenny's computer was messed up. That's why they pulled out. I didn't know that. I actually had no idea. It's the first time I'm hearing that, but I was just mind blown because I was like, "Oh, Stallions are about to play a pro team."
PC's fucked everywhere.
Yeah, it was, right. They gave him the shit. They gave him the shit PC at the Optic headquarters, and now he's having problems again. But yeah, I actually didn't know that. But regardless, I was a little annoyed at that just because I was excited to watch the Stallions play a pro team, and then that kind of crumbled. But Chris, good point, right? You see some pro teams falling to challenger teams, and you have people like Scrap who are at the top of the league saying, "Oh, everybody in challengers is shit." Well, yeah, brother, you say the same shit about everybody that's in the pro league. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he calls everyone ass. It doesn't matter who he's playing against.
Right, so it's like, I don't know, bro. I would love to see a situation where there was more of a connection.
My point with that is there needs to be more, like, open formatting, dude.
That's where I was going with it.
I mean, like, we come from an era where we had to qualify for everything, and when you were a good team and failed to show up on the day and didn't qualify, that was your own fault, and it created storylines for either A, bounce back, or 2, you had to split up, which just made it so there was way more like actual storylines with like people going to certain teams to obviously like keep competing in the league or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I miss those days, man. And it's kind of like seeing that tournament is very reminiscent of like seeing teams like amateur teams or teams that were like not considered that good make runs and qualify. Like remember in BO4 when like Fastball's team and then there was that like Llama God, Brack, like those guys qualified. I forgot what their name was. It Midnight? With like Envoy, they qualified. Like that was fucking awesome. So I don't know. Just wanted to throw that in there while you were switching scenes.
I think there's a lot of really good ways next year if the league is smart in either preseason or for Major 1 or mid-season to do pro-am stuff that like provides a lot of value, especially for amateur players trying to make a name for themselves and also for the pro teams to get good practice. But will they do it? Probably not because they fucked it up every year. So.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's do our pick'ems and let's make our bracket here. So for those of you that do know, we got champs this weekend in Kitchener. I have seen some people in my community on Twitter talking about Kitchener, and apparently there's literally nothing there. There's people who are already there.
No.
And
so I've got the lowdown. I talked to some locals.
Apparently it is literally something.
You're not even there, Ben. You're in Toronto, you said.
The guy in my community said you might as well just had this in an open field somewhere. That's what they said.
Spending the least
some of our boys, Tom, some of the boys that we know actually went to school there, and the lowdown that they've said is like it's a college town. So during when university is in, like it's popping bars, especially on the weekend. Restaurants are popping. The problem is that they're running this event in Kitchener in June, and the only people there are summer students and people that live there full time. It's just you're in that area, and it's just going to be kind of empty outside the event. So I get why like a Kitchener or Waterloo is trying to entice an esport event to come out there, so they're programming in the off season. But the flip side is just not going to hit like the way the Maname events did because you were in downtown Toronto. So I'm curious kind of how everything will sort of play out in the next few days.
Yeah, listen, Kitchener's dog shit. We're going to the biggest tournament of the year. All right, and
everything. Yeah, no, it's just
we're in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're in the middle of nowhere, bro. You're not even there. We flew you out to fucking Toronto to do champ shit. You're not even in Kitchener right now, Ben. You're in Toronto.
I'll be in Kitchener tomorrow.
All right,
he's spending the least amount of time possible in Kitchener. That's to tell you.
No. I mean, but listen, I'm in downtown Toronto for 2 days. One to see some boys that I haven't seen before. Some guys came into town. We're having a good time, and then go out to Kitchener. I think from what I've seen about the layout of the venue and kind of how they're gonna do the flow in the venue, I think it'll be good. I think the concern and how it plays out is like, the scene around the venue and the event, like, will that be popping or will it kind of be like an off-season college town? I guess we'll find out.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do our pick'ems here. Call of Duty champs. I'll be honest. Listen, I know COD's been dead the last few weeks, but there's nothing better than a Call of Duty tournament. I mean, I love the majors. I love the LAN events, especially Call of Duty champs. So it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great weekend. Got a lot of great matchups coming up. I'm excited for it, man. I've been waiting for it. Especially after watching CS, I've been itching for a Call of Duty tournament. So I'm excited to watch these teams play. And looking at the list, we got some great matchups here. We'll start from the top and we'll work our way down. We start things off in the winners round 1. We got LA Thieves going up against Boston Breach. I'll be honest with you. I just don't see LA Thieves losing. I just see them going all the way. So I'm personally going to go with LA Thieves in this one. Do any of you guys see Boston Breach coming out and potentially upsetting the LA Thieves here?
Boston beat them in winners round 1 at some point this year is all I'm saying. It's happened before.
I'm just saying, it could be crazy if we see an upset here. It could be crazy. I mean, that would be insane. And if you're Boston, the only thing they should be telling themselves is, hey, if we get through Thieves, we can do this. Right? If we win this match, we can do this. Right? So, I mean, Boston's going to be coming out with the fire. You never know in a Call of Duty tournament. I'm personally going with the Thieves. I'm just saying, you never know. Right? What do you think, Chris?
Unless Thieves got complacent over this little break, and they were scrimming, kind of going through the motions, and they just show up and don't bring intensity, there's no shot. Like, this team has the best map records, the best map pool. They're easily the best team. It's not even close. Sorry, FaZe. Like, no way, bro. I don't know.
I just think it goes two ways. If Boston were to win this series, it's because Thieves, similar to what happened to Major 2, didn't have that same intensity, attention to detail, communication in a series like this. And Boston also took care of the searches. And I find that part unlikely because Thieves looked so good at S&D at the last event. So if they keep that going, they should breeze past Boston. But we've seen years. I don't know if y'all remember Vanguard. I think every single winners round match went to Game 5. There were not many upsets, but because teams had 3 weeks, they figured out how to gain the vetoes where they were at least making it the fucking distance.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Pat? Who do you got? You got Thieves in this one, Pat, I'm guessing?
Thieves. Next, bro.
They're just playing Thieves on like their best maps, like their hardpoint map pool. It's looking like you're gonna play either Thieves on Skyline, Hacienda, or like a red card, and you're just not gonna beat them on any of those.
Guys, it's a 30-minute series, 3-0. This is one of those where we won't even be able to watch a map because they're all blowouts.
The rest of these, the best it's ever been.
All I'm saying is that I just think these series, even though the better team may win, could get a little sketchy because teams have had 3 weeks to prepare for the same opponent. And when you have that much time to game plan, you can throw curveballs and do weird things and find your ways to at least like go toe to toe with them.
Bro, you can always throw a curveball, bro. That shit is still going 450 over the wall. Like, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. It's out.
Let's move to the next one. We got the Vancouver Surge going up against the Miami Heretics. This is about to be a banger. This is about to be crazy. Me personally, I'm leaning towards Miami. Just because Vancouver, I don't know, bro. Like they started off hot. I mean, they had moments this year where they looked really good. They had a hard time closing, but I just think Miami have more teamwork. They just look like the better team to me. I mean, we obviously haven't seen these guys play in weeks. I mean, we're just kind of going based off the whole year, right? But I'm gonna lean more towards Miami in this one. But this is close. I mean, I feel like you can go either way. Chris, what do you got in this one?
I mean, Surge did just go top 12, but like, I'm not going to forget that Surge was one of, if like top the teams, best hardpoint teams in their run, like to becoming this like threat. And if they want to get this done, they have to win those hard points. That's how they've kept it close with every good team. They have to win those hard points. And if they do win, I think it's going to come off of a control and it's going to have to be a 3-1. So I'm going to say Heretics if I'm like a betting man, just because Heretics have looked unreal, bro. I love that team. Still a fan of them. I hope they somehow make a run. It'd be lit, but I wouldn't sleep on Vancouver at all.
So you got Miami, but you're not sleeping on Vancouver?
Yeah, I'm not sleeping. It's just that top 12 threw me off, you know what I mean? So
I'm sleep. Miami, bro.
Miami? You got Miami, Pat?
Yeah, I'm sleeping on the Surge.
Really? Why? Same. Why, Pat?
Yeah.
Why, Sam? Why?
They have looked ass, bro.
They've looked ass?
I just don't think they got it, bro. Like I said before, they can't close. Mentally, I think they have a big struggle. I don't think they're going to figure that out in this slow off season.
We're doing 3-0?
Miami's look great. Now, I'll give them a map, but it's 3-1 Miami.
3-1 Miami?
Agreed. I mean, we obviously have no idea if they've gotten better or worse over the course of the break, but going off what I saw, I think that Miami is just a stronger team. Their search has been incredible. I think their hard point is on par, and then both of them are honestly shit at control. So I think in at least 1 through 5, other than control, I'd give the edge to Miami. I think I'm just higher on their teamwork wise.
Okay.
I think if you want to see a path for Vancouver, it's holding your own in the S&Ds. I kind of agree with the respawns, but in S&D this year, they've been very poor closing out rounds in offense, especially when they get bloods. And they've been very poor at just giving themselves easy 4v3s on defense. They're one of the lowest teams, lowest in the league at first blood percentage on defense. So I just think Miami Surge probably hasn't fallen off that much, and it seems like a 3-1 to me. I agree with you guys.
All right, let's move down now. Let's look at the bottom bracket here. We got Atlanta FaZe going up against Optic Texas. Now, the last time these teams met was a very close series, a banger. I mean, it could have gone either way. FaZe closed it out. But I mean, one map in particular I remember was the Rewind Hardpoint, and just how crazy it ended and how close it was. So again, this is another series where, biggest tournament of the year. I think both teams are gonna be showing their A game, just showing up. I think throughout the year, FaZe has obviously been the better team. It's just, Optic, after picking up Merc, have just looked like such a better team that I just think this series is gonna be really close. I have FaZe winning it. I could see this being a last map ruler where FaZe take the W, but what do you guys got? I mean, what are you guys thinking? Because I'm a little biased here. So
I think the problem for me, Tom, is Optic this season have really struggled to extend and battle the back end of these series consistently throughout the year. And if you recall the actual last time these ties played, the first two maps were close. But do you remember what happened on map 3 and map 4? Optic got ran into control, and then they FaZe won by 100 points in hardpoint. I just think for Optic, map 1 in this series and get that initial belief is so important. If they can't hold their own or take that first map, I just think FaZe, with the prep work over the last couple of weeks, are probably just going to kind of run their pockets as they have the last 18 to 24 months in this matchup.
Optic shit on them in control, by the way. So I think you have a different series.
I think you're mixing up series. I think.
I apologize. I forgot. Optic did win that control. I just looked it up, but they then got smoked on the red card hardpoint pretty bad. I remember.
I'm gonna say, I think FaZe is gonna win, but something tells me that Optic will either make this close or probably squeak it out. I just think they've had so much more time now to develop with Merc, and they already looked good with him with the limited time they've had. And this whole time, they've just been in such a roster clusterfuck that they haven't really had a lot of time to acclimate with their players. And now that they have, Merc, and they've looked a lot better, I feel like if they've really honed in on their search and destroy over this time that they've had, I feel like this is now a potential real threat for FaZe. Because if you think about it, at least from a VOD perspective, FaZe doesn't have shit on Optic because they were so dog shit at search. You're not going to take anything from them for the most part. But now Optic, they have a whole season's worth of FaZe S&D they can look at, and also potentially improve in the game mode. So if they do actually improve in search, and with the way they played with Merc before, I could see them actually winning this series finally.
They're dangerous with Merc. They're dangerous with Merc.
Yeah, they just have a big S&D map pool problem though. When you look at the maps that FaZe likes to play and the maps that Optic like to play, especially on Merc, it's just an overlap on a lot of the for example, are you gonna run back Protocol S&D? I don't see a path forward there. I think
Ben, here's the thing. Right? Yeah. Let me give you an example. Counter-Strike. FaZe beat the Mongols. Right, they beat the Mongols in the group stage, right? And then when we got to the major, right, when we got to the event, right, the Mongols came back and beat them. And why? Because of preparation, right? After losing the FaZe, they were able to go back, right, kind of study the gameplay and adapt accordingly, right? We've had a long time, bro. It's been weeks. It's been weeks since we've seen these teams go at it. And I'm sure FaZe and Optic haven't played each other because they're playing each other first round. So I don't think they're playing. I could be wrong there, but I don't think they're playing each other.
My only thing about that is that the one issue that Optic have had all season with Merc, without Merc, is that when it comes down to the last 2 minutes of a map, they make critical mistakes and they can't close. And I think it's really difficult to not go with the history they're going this event that they're going to continue to have that same issue. Yeah, functionally, maybe they might do a better job of the first flow of the map. But they've just consistently scammed winnable maps for the last 6 months, honestly.
Their team was bad. Their team was bad. They had a guy on their team for the last couple of iterations, literally getting actual hoop mixtape, having to compensate for that. They get a good guy on their team and they make a run. They get top 4 and they look a lot better. But now they're having those issues. With more time and to iron that out, I feel they're no slouch. But I think you're right on that though, Ben. You think it's the map 1 that is going to make the series? I think it's their map 2. They need to win that search, bro. Because FaZe being such a good search team, beating FaZe such a good search team on potentially their map, pick, because we know the way FaZe like to do these series, that's going to be massive for them. Because I think FaZe is probably going to go with Team B, right? And they're going to pick that first.
I'll be honest. I think for Optic, in a weird way, they have way less pressure going in this tournament than FaZe does. I'm going to be honest. After the last two events, I think FaZe are a little bit in the hot seat coming in this one, because if they let Thieves take 3 in a row, we're back to, well, FaZe once again can't get over the hump at the end of the year. We're going to start having a conversation about, like, well, what do they do to address that, to try and match sort of the power that Thieves have. Optic are coming in this tournament a little bit loose. If they go and win this thing, that's an insane story. If they get top 3 or 4, well, we're a new team, we're the level at it.
But that's one series. Like, been your arguments about the whole tournament.
No, Saudi money's coming in, no, Pat. Saudi money's coming in.
Hold on. What do you mean? What do you mean, Tom?
Saudi money's coming in. There's free agents.
What, you think they're just gonna? Do you think they're gonna poach off people out of buyouts on FaZe?
Absolutely. Yes, I do. I think 100% they might. If I know there's people on FaZe that are free agents, I think 100% people are gonna. There's gonna be offers flying around. There's gonna be fucking
people on FaZe are free agents. We're just dropping intel.
Somebody in chat said that every team is going to get better besides FaZe.
Contract fucking spreadsheets every fucking week, and now it's intel.
Wait, hold on. I got
these guys were overthinking this, bro.
I got a point I want to make, because somebody in chat says, "Oh, so you're saying Optics can get better, but FaZe isn't?" FaZe, for some reason, the last couple of years, and why they haven't been able to win the World Championship, is because they get to a level during the season and they stay at that level, and then when they go to the final tournament of the year, you see teams that are beating them that excel and get better at certain things, which puts them over that edge and gets them those rings. FaZe, great team, championship winning team, the world championship winning team, but at the same time, for some reason, they get to a level in the season, they maintain that level, and it's good enough to get them in that grand finals. But for some reason, it has not been able to push them over the edge the last couple times. So that's why we're saying here, Optic can definitely improve there. Where FaZe, I feel like if FaZe is gonna play like they did the last couple majors, they'll probably make it to the final. But I still don't know if they're gonna win that next ring.
Pat, what were you gonna say?
It's a hard sell for me.
Pat, what were you gonna say? You said we're overthinking this. What were you gonna say, Pat?
Yeah, we're overthinking it. It's pretty simple for me, Tom, because men lie, women lie, Ben lies, numbers don't, bro. Optic are 2-12 against FaZe this year. I'm going FaZe.
Wait, this year, in map count, 2-12?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on what
Sam,
Pat said.
Yeah, Sam, you agree, Sam?
I think this is just a hard counter matchup this year. I know Optic is definitely going to look better than they have, because I think they're just behind rep-wise, especially in search. I think that they hit the point of having a good enough roster to now be a consistent factor, but then time just kind of isn't on their side because it's the end of the season. I think just having all of the different roster things happen, they never had a consistent enough team with enough talent to really compete this season. And I think that Optic is just they're just not where they need to be in order to be
two X Factor players in the series. If Optic want to actually get victories against FaZe, Brandon, aka Dashy, has really struggled in this matchup historically. Some of y'all were wondering why, when Prize Pick rolled out some of their lines, the KD lines they're doing for this event, why it's so low. Well, because its history in this matchup is not good. If they want to win this one, if you're Optic, Brand needs to have a good series. If you're FaZe, you guys know I say this a lot. I think they are a completely different team when Abeezy's at that level. He's their biggest X Factor player. If he comes out and has a good series here, that is how FaZe is going to get it done and lift a trophy and get the rings over Thieves at the end of this.
Mm-hmm. All right, 3-2, good with y'all? I was gonna do 3-1 or 3-2. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be.
I'll go for a 3-2 classic, man. That'd be awesome.
Down for a banger.
All right, then let's move on. We got Toronto Ultra going up against the Carolina Royal Ravens. Listen, love the guys in Carolina. I just think their team this year has just not been it, bro. I'm just gonna be honest. I mean, I think Toronto Ultra has definitely looked like the stronger team throughout the season, so I'm going with Toronto Ultra on this one, and I don't even think it's gonna be close. I can see this being a 3-0, 3-1. But who do you got? We'll start from the bottom. We'll work our way up. Pat, who do you got in this one?
Surge for sure.
Surge? Yeah, Ultra.
Ultra, not Surge. Yeah.
Okay. Why, Pat? You think they're just a better team?
Yeah, I mean, bro, we've talked about it. This Ravens team disappeared. I mean, I would argue that the one team of all these 8 who I genuinely think have gotten worse over the last 3 weeks is going to be Carolina. I actually think that team is in such a rough state. There's no way they improved. I bet they hate each other even more now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the way you win this series is that you assume Toronto's taking Team B, and you got to win your fucking map pick and hard count or whatever fucking S&D they're going to pick off the rip. And up to 2-up off the back gives you enough maps on the back end of this to close this out. Like, I disagree with you, Pat, though. If I had to pick one team that I think is probably heading in the wrong direction, it's probably Carolina going to this event.
I swear I just heard you say you disagree with me, and then you said the same thing. Did you say agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I agree with you. I just think I'm just saying like the path forward for Carolina to win this is like.
Did y'all wait, chat? Am I crazy? Did he say disagree?
If I misspoke, that's not what I meant. I meant if
okay.
I think Toronto will win, but like Carolina, this is where that 3 weeks of prep and being a good search team for most of the year, like win that quick first respawn, win that S&D, and hope that you can somehow over the next 3 maps just get one to close it out.
I think Carolina is going to get fucking stomped into the ground.
Absolutely. Let's move up Toronto to 3 up.
I got Toronto. Unless Carolina somehow got better at different maps, they share a similar map pool, and Toronto's just way better at it. So not looking good.
Okay, we'll go through all the winners and then we'll go through all the losers. Then we got LA Thieves versus Miami in winners round 2. Again, I'm going with LA Thieves. I have LA Thieves honestly probably going all the way. But who do you guys got? Anybody got Miami here? Does anybody here got Miami over LA?
I think this is a really good series.
Yeah, this is probably the best series.
I think this is good.
They already beat them on land last event. You never know.
I think this is going to be a fucking banger, but I do have Thieves winning.
You never.
This is one of those series where S&D wins championships, bro. Like this is one of those ones where you just know both teams going to get theirs, and who's going to be in better form in a game 5. I think I'm thinking Thieves.
I would love to see Miami, but like whenever Miami and Thieves matched up the second time, the way Thieves was playing S&D, it's almost like they just something clicked in their head after losing to them, and they like figured out their search.
It was learn how to play against Miami with like their grouping and
with their grouping and like quick rotating. It was fucking beautiful to watch. I think it was a rewind where I was calling it out. I was like, wow, these guys are on a completely different level now. I would love Miami to win, but I'm going to say Thieves as well.
I think Chris, here's the champ series for Thieves where like every winner has like one really dicey like mixed series. I think this is that one for this year. I think this is like a nail biter series.
Here's a difficulty in this is like unless there are little things, like it's not like Thieves are going to massively change up the way that they play and the way they approach things. But everybody else, especially the teams that didn't win, like you're going to either try to mimic what Thieves are doing or counter it. And that's where this goes to a game 5. And then Miami's now got the hard read on Thieves at search. This is a theoretically losable series for Thieves.
That's the thing, though. It's like this is like full on Thieves glaze. Thieves have been so good at like adapting to every team's play style, like in terms of how they play search. And that's why they've gotten so good at search. There's not like a one thing that I can watch Thieves do in search and be like, oh, they do that every time. It's like they just do such a good job of like reading teams and playing around them. And that's kind of what they did at the major they just won. So I don't know if there's going to be much for them to keep track of, even if they go back and watch like that. So I don't know.
The only thing for Thieves, the way to counter them is to just not give them. It's really difficult to do, but just do not let them.
Paco.
Gotta kill Paco and don't give them early bloods in S&D. If you watch their searches where they are actually very losable is when you put them into like for post plants or like you get early blood in them and they have to play 3v4. Like if they are so good, Chris, and what I've noticed, especially on red card, if they do that set piece and get an early blood, bro, they just play. And they just wait for their team to fucking scam a push, and they make the round so easy to execute. So we'll see what Miami cooks up. But this feels like a dealership game 5 to me, to be honest.
All right, we'll go 3-2 Thieves. In that one, we'll throw them in a winner's final. And we got Atlanta FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. I personally have FaZe winning this. I just see FaZe and Thieves meeting up in the winner's final. And I think whoever loses the winner's final is going to win the tournament. That's what I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head's at. I don't know if you guys are kind of feeling that or what, but anybody got Toronto here?
Tom, the weird thing is I think Toronto is 2-1 against FaZe, although they've all 3 of those matches are online. I don't think they played on LAN all year.
Interesting.
So.
Why, they haven't played on LAN once this year?
Nah, not these 2 teams. They haven't matched up.
Isn't that kind of crazy? That's kind of insane. That's nuts. So who here has Toronto? Anybody? Pat? Chris? Sam?
I don't know.
No.
Okay. So we all got FaZe in this one? Let's say 3-0, 3-1.
My concern with Toronto is like it's the ARs, bro. Which version of Jamie and Ben are they going to get
Ben,
this upcoming week?
Ben, you're giving me fake stats, Benji. You're giving me fake stats.
They play Major One on land chat. Is that true?
That's what the chat's saying, and the chat knows ball.
Major One might as well.
They didn't. They did in fact play in winners semifinals.
You lying bastard.
FaZe 3-0'd them. So my bad.
No good, Benji. Benji, you got to get your stats in order for if you're going to be hosting.
Yeah, my stats have been all fucked up on the show.
Also,
but either way, I think
I'm trying to get Dylan attached for that Saturday show as well to replace me. You know, Benji's going to host it and get maybe Dylan attached in there. You know what I mean? Just a little Dylan attached.
It's just, I think you guys probably agree. In this matchup, it's really just what version of Toronto.
I think it's all four. I think the ARs are important, but I think all four of Toronto have to be frying. There's no like Jamie's 15 and 15 or like Toby's having an off series or anything. Like all four of them have to be frying for them to be fit.
Did you see what Toby said in an interview a couple days ago? He said that's
being angry at getting third, right?
Yeah, he basically said that he just feels like. I mean, they just can't have had a disappointing season compared to past years. They've just not gone over that hump to at least appear in the final. I mean, yeah, but even without Scrap, those guys were consistently making it deep on Sundays. You know, they had made these finals appearances, but this year it's just been 2 steps short of that. Not winning that losers finals and then not even getting an opportunity in the grand final.
Not making a grand final this year is definitely a surprising factor for me for Toronto. I thought they would at least appear in one.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys want to do the winners final now? Or you want to do losers first? Want to go down to losers?
Losers.
All right, let's go down to losers. We have Boston Breach going up against Vancouver. Winner will play Toronto Ultra. Who do you guys got in this one?
Vancouver.
Boston, Vancouver. I got Vancouver as well in this one.
I want to say Vancouver, but if they like show up that first match against Miami and play like actual dog piss, like I could see a world where Breach beat them. If it's a close game and like Surge,
Toronto gets fucking 3-0'd.
Yeah, I mean, I should, you should, but like I'm just
now that I think about it, I could see a world where anybody beats anybody at this event.
Really? I think it's the exact opposite. I think this is going to be the most straightforward bracket that we've had.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to be like everyone is supposed to win wins and everyone's supposed to lose loses.
Yeah.
The problem is I would love
that feeling about this tournament.
I would love to subscribe to like the Boston T4 or T6 like last year run, but I actually do have actual stats on this one, and they have been really poor against Vancouver this year. They only have 1 win out of 5 that they played them.
Aren't a lot of those like online, like fucking West Coast, East Coast bullshit?
Yeah, but like if you look through it, it's like it doesn't surprise you that like Boston just struggled to win the swing game mode. Like Vancouver have kind of hard carried them a little bit on dealership. They lost the last 2 times they played to them on it. Like
that's nice.
There's just a map pool skill overlap. Yeah,
well, they got better. That's
the one.
No, they were like 9-0 in it, and then they got shit again.
At the
they lost like 5 in a row or something.
I'm just remembering when they were good.
Yeah, they had a really good stage on it, and
it's been a while since we've talked to God. So,
but I think look, if Vancouver play like they did last event, they could definitely lose to Boston. But my guess is at minimum they're getting top 6 of this thing. So,
okay, I got Vancouver moving on. Any objections? Slowly, Optic Texas going up against Carolina 3-0. Carolina's getting double
3-0.
But if you're Carolina in this, like I just can you dig deep and find a way to beat the Optic guys? I just don't think it's possible.
They gotta dig deep, bro. If they make a run, I'd be impressed, bro. I'd be impressed.
Is Austin beat Ant yet? Is that stat still alive?
He's never beat Shotzi.
True, I forgot about that stat.
They beat him online in the first minor tournament, I think, right?
Oh, online.
Oh, true.
He's got 1. Okay.
Or wait, somebody said Major 1. Did they beat him Major 1 too? Did they beat him at Major 1 as well?
Yep, Major 1.
Okay.
Onto the
Major 1. Okay.
The chat never forgets. They remember everything.
I don't know why it just popped into my head. I didn't remember. But yeah, I still have Optic anyway.
And then Optic over Miami. Who do you guys got in that one? Is this where Optic's run ends or what? You got Miami making a run?
If they're playing Miami, it's just such a tough draw because, again, it's like S&D. It's like they just had no time to improve. Mm-hmm. If they improve at that game mode, they have a chance. But who knows? If it's Miami, I think if it's Miami, I think Miami wins. But if it's who do they played? Otherwise,
I think Miami Optic beat Miami. I do. I think they beat them. I don't know what it is.
I think the last time they played Miami,
they've looked better with Merc. They've looked better. Ever since they got Merc, I don't know. They just look stronger to me. It looks like their flow is better. They've had a lot more weeks of preparation with Merc, a lot more reps. I don't know. I think Optic's gonna come to play. I don't think it's gonna be a walk. I don't think it's gonna be.
Yeah, but you dropped Merc, bro.
Bro, I didn't drop. I dropped the whole team. I dropped the whole entire
Miami
team.
3-0.
Tom crashed out.
I crashed out and said, "Fuck this challenger shit. Everybody go find another team. Go disperse."
And then you were back. In a month later.
I was back in a month later. I was back. Stallions.
So I got some stats. So they haven't played Miami since the Major 3 qualifiers, and they are 0 for 3 against Miami, and they have not won a single hard point against them all year. So obviously it's all without Merck. So take it as you leave it, but. If that repeats, then
they've gone way better at hard points since then.
Yeah, there's just a different team, but I think Miami's search. It is one of those series. If you're Miami, the S&D prowess, like that gets you through and you grind this out, whether you're winning that map 2 or you're winning that 5 for the bread.
Mm-hmm. So who do you guys got, Pat? Who do you got in this one? Miami or Optic?
Miami for sure.
You got Miami for sure.
Things are Miami 3-2 round 11.
Tom, I agree with you that Optic has obviously gotten a lot better and look a lot better, but bro, Miami looks gross.
Yeah.
You think it's tough matchups for Optic the way they landed in this bracket with how shit their season was?
I mean, I just don't have faith that all 4 of these Optic guys are going to show up at champs and play like lights out.
Can you go up to winners? I want to see like who would.
And that's what they require, bro. Can you Optic actually require. Optic require all 4 of them having a perfect tournament to go far.
I was gonna say if Surge would have beat them, then maybe they draw Surge here because they would have lost the Thieves. I don't know. I just think
the thing for Optic, if you're
tough draw.
If you're an Optic fan,
there ain't no such thing as a tough draw.
No, I'm saying they would. I think they'd have a better chance against Surge. Like hypothetically, if Heretics lost the Surge first round, then Surge dropped down to Thieves, they would have had Surge in this position instead of Heretics. Is what I'm saying. And I think
they're not playing FaZe or Thieves. I think that is an ideal draw.
Yeah, I know.
But then they still get 4th, and they get 4th, and like whatever. Like I think for Optic, it's a situation of like. If you're an Optic fan, they need to be FaZe because that delusional confidence it would be how they're going to carry to Pat's point. We're all for them frying; they can somehow win this tournament. But like, if they got to make a losers bracket run, I just think it comes down to like history and prowess and say search. And I just don't know we've seen enough from them that they can really pull it out. You know,
if Optic had their team that they have right now for the entire season, or not even the entire season, just longer than they have right now, I would have a lot of confidence in their team. I genuinely think that they have a good team right now for this title, but I think that time is just so against them compared to all of the reps that these teams have with no roster changes. Mm-hmm. I think that Optic genuinely do have a good team, but I just don't think they've had enough time.
Yeah. And then we got the Vancouver Surge going up against Toronto Ultra. That's going to be a good one. I can see that being a good. I'm talking like these matches are actually happening.
It's always been a good one. I'm pretty sure every time these guys play, it's like a really good series, like a map 5 series most of the time, right?
Yeah. I think I'm leaning towards Vancouver in this one. Just because throughout the year,
it's so hard.
But it is a hard. This is a hard matchup.
It's just like Major 3, Major 4. I'd be like, yeah, but like, bro, Vancouver
guys. I don't know, bro. I kind of want to.
Are they falling off at the wrong time, bro?
I'm thinking Toronto, but for like no reason.
So
yeah, I don't have a reason. Numbers. We're guessing. We're hyper guessing here.
So if you heard some of the numbers in this one, they played 7 times. Vancouver won 4 and have lost 3.
Yeah.
Vancouver won 9 of the 12 hard points, but Toronto have won 6 of the 9 S&Ds, and it's 3 and 4 in control. So they're basically like pretty close there. So it's about like
the first time they played was with Hixie, and then I think the rest were with their current roster, right? I mean, I don't know if you have that on hand, but so
I'm pretty sure they only played one cycle.
Yeah, so realistically, it's maybe like I mean, I'm not going to count the Hixie one. I'm not.
They played twice during the Major 1 cycle.
I'd say. Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Oh my god.
What do you think, Duarte? What do you think?
I'm gonna give it to Ultra, bro. Like they're just gonna like Vancouver's just falling off at the wrong time. I guess we'll just chalk it up to that, at least for me.
Okay.
It's just so hard.
It's so hard. Vancouver? I meant Toronto. I'm sorry.
This is what's so hard about this matchup because like both these teams are so dependent on certain people showing up, and we just don't know which is going to come true, right? Like Vancouver was so disappointing last split. We talked about the Airs versus subs on Toronto. It's just like it just is as coin flippy as a series we're going to get in this fucking bracket.
Like the only reason why we are unsure of this, by the way, and like it's recency bias. If they had a normal placement, even a top 6 or top 4 at the last major, we would not be having this conversation. We would just say Surge. So if you want to use recency bias, then I guess we can have an argument for Toronto. But if we chuck that shit out the window and just call it by their overall season and how good Surge was prior to that one event blip, because they were still good in the online stage, right? Surge, like they got a decent seed, and they just went to the event and shit the fucking bed.
Yeah.
So you guys got who do we move up here? Surge?
Fuck me, dude.
I got Toronto.
I got Toronto.
Toronto? All right, let's move up Toronto because I have no idea who's winning that shit.
Toronto, but let me ask this question. No one's going to be surprised if Vancouver wins this match, right?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically 50-50. These guys have been as close as you can get this year as a matchup. But I mean, it's just whoever's hotter on the day. And I'm Nostradamus, and it's Ultra.
Tom, we do we think 3-2, or are we doing 3-1?
With Toronto and Vancouver?
Have there been any 3-0s?
They go map 5 a lot, bro. They go map 5 a fuck ton.
I'm down to go 3-2 on this. 3-2, 3-1. Toronto Ultra, Miami. What do you guys think? Miami?
Ooh,
I got Miami. If Miami's making it this far, I think they're going to get back into the top 3. I think they're going to get back into Miami.
Yeah, I think they get top 3 too.
I'd probably go.
Man, if this plays out this way, because you're obviously this is two Paranorgs that fucking hate each other. This good beef in this one has been storylines all year, man.
Yep. Muerto. Vamos. And then of course back to the winners final. I mean the matchup of the season, right? FaZe versus Thieves. I feel like when these two teams play each other, you just don't know what the hell is gonna happen. But who do you guys got? I mean, I'm probably leaning more towards FaZe. Sam, I'm sure you're gonna lean more towards Thieves. I mean, Chris, who do you got? What do you think?
I got Thieves. I've been saying it all last 2 weeks on my stream. Every time I get asked, I got Thieves. I'm sticking with my guns.
I do want to say again, whoever loses this series, I think is gonna win. I think they're gonna come back and win. I think they're gonna go through the losers, come back and be hot going into grand finals, and I think they're gonna win.
Well, Tom, you're aware there's only one match on Sunday, right?
Is that how they're doing it? Oh, that's actually different.
There's only
big. That's big.
They've done that. They've done the last couple of years. There's challengers finals,
I
and then there's grand finals.
I forgot they do it like that. Honestly, I don't know now. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I honestly have no idea with these two teams, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like this matchup can just go either way. You just whoever shows up on the day is gonna win this match, right?
I think it's entirely under control.
This is S&D. S&D's and Controls win championships in this matchup, bro. I think Thieves were the better search team the last 2 events. FaZe were the better search team the first 2 events. I think that's what's going to come down to, bro. FaZe were which is Thieves.
I was gonna say Thieves. Dude, this team has improved far and beyond, in every facet of the game. While FaZe reached a peak and kind of maintained it, and they just are sitting there. And I don't know how much more they're going to improve, because I feel like, again, it's been a trend with them. Are they going to be able to break the cycle and take another ring back? Or is it time for fucking Scrappy to get his big one, dude? I don't know. I just think Thieves, their improvement in everything. They're unreal, bro. They're playing some insane COD.
I think the 2 eggs, if you can crack it for FaZe on how you win this, one is, I'll say look at the map set. If you can somehow find a way to beat Thieves, psychotic, but if you can beat them on red card hardpoint, the map will get really dicey. And then the second thing is they really struggled more against other teams, but specifically Thieves at the last event by getting first bloods on offense and defense against Thieves, which is unusual considering that FaZe were number 1 team in that regard through most of the year. If they can resolve that issue, I think they'll have a good chance. But right now, I'd probably have to say Thieves based on form.
I'm getting flashbacks to just looking at that Major 4 Grand Finals map set, and I just didn't see a single weakness for Thieves. That's why I'm picking them to win the whole thing.
Pat, what do you got, Pat?
But hold on. But I would argue if FaZe could win a fucking search, though, it's probably going 7. Would they lose? Maybe, but
yeah,
even beyond that, they almost forced it.
What's crazy is this is the first year, at least for me, where we're seeing FaZe as the team that has to upset. Every other year, it's we expect FaZe to win just because of how good they've been throughout the season, and even though they've came up short, this is the year where we're looking at them as the underdog.
Who do you got, Pat? What do you think?
I'm going Thieves, Tom.
It's the Slayer. It's the Slayer.
Only because I'm watching vlogs of the FaZe guys thinking about retirement and planning it. I'm thinking Thieves here.
Who? Who's thinking about retirement, planning retirement?
Tyler Basie.
Tyler Basie?
Said he's going to play till he's 30.
How old is he now?
He's like 26.
That doesn't sound like it's any time. I mean, 4 years. That's a lot of.
It's already on his mind, though, Tom. It's already on his mind.
All right, let's.
Hey, I won champs with it on my mind. Don't worry about it, Pat.
Hey, absolutely. I never won champs. I'm a loser.
Same until I heard. Yo, Cronky's 400K. All right.
Until I heard.
All right, I could play another year, maybe meaning one or two matches. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nice little quick bagging out. Nice little quick bagging out.
All right, we'll give it to Thieves. We'll give Thieves the edge. Thieves end up winning that, and then we go down to FaZe versus Miami. I just have FaZe Thieves grand final, bro. I mean, I think Miami. I could see.
Wait, I'll say I hope we get a FaZe Thieves grand final, but I feel like we deserve it. They both won 2 events.
They deserve it, bro.
Yeah, we deserve it as fans, but I still think Miami could pull this one out. I'm not gonna lie.
FaZe have not made the grand finals of the last 2 champs. Is that correct? Am I faded?
Bro, Miami, don't fuck this up, man.
Is it 2 or 3? They didn't make the. They made the final Vanguard. They didn't make an MW2. Last year
we beat them.
Yeah, Vanguard they did, but the last 2 they haven't.
The last 2 years.
They lost to. Yeah.
All right.
Lost to fucking Scrappy, and then they lost to early in the tournament last event.
What are you trying to say, Ben? You don't think FaZe is making it? Is that what you're trying to say? You think?
I think if they have the same issues.
Oh wait, my
I
bad.
was about to say if they have the same issues they've had the last couple of champs, they could easily.
These matches are all on the same day besides the grand finals, right?
I guess so.
Correct. There's a lot of matches. There's 5 on Saturday. Correct.
That means that FaZe is gonna have to bounce. If hypothetically it goes this way, FaZe would have to bounce back after a loss, bro.
Wait, shit. What time is the grand final on Sunday? Is it late in the day?
No, it's at like 3.
So Miami would play. So hypothetically, if we were running this right, it would be Miami would play Ultra on that day, and then FaZe would play Thieves on that day. Like FaZe would lose, and then have to bounce back against Miami, who just got a win, and FaZe is coming off a loss. That's how this would work, right?
I'm pretty sure the 5 games are both elimination round 2s. Winners final, elim round 3, and then elim final, or the 5 on Saturday.
Yeah, so that means Miami's playing fucking 3 matches, hypothetically winning 2 of them, then having to play FaZe that just came off a loss. If it plays out that way, I mean, Miami's gonna have a lot of morale going into that series while FaZe is coming off a fucking loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
storylines.
FaZe Thieves, so we get a good final because all the non-FaZe Thieves finals have sucked.
Yeah.
And no, guys,
I mean, I will say,
the wedding, guys. I cannot skip the wedding. I have to go to the wedding.
I will say, I mean, we'll see if Ern can get at least 1 in the grand finals. But like, I'm just hoping we get a major 1 repeat, bro. I'm hoping this goes to a last round, last map, 1v1 or some post plan for the fucking bread. Like, it'd be such a deserved ending to this season if we get it with these 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we've had too many champs finals. They've just been fucking blowouts historically. They've just been one-sided. One team just doesn't show up, and it's like a fucking 5-1 or a 5-2, and we're done in fucking 2.5 hours.
All right, grand final, the grand finale, championship Sunday, best of 9. Thieves versus FaZe. It all comes down to this. Who do you guys got? Thieves.
Thieves.
Does everybody have Thieves?
Matt Pool Diff Thieves.
I got Atlanta FaZe, man.
You're outvoted, Thieves.
Man, fuck that. Man, fuck that.
You thought this was a FaZe podcast, bud. Thieves.
All right, bro. I'm going. It's either going to be 5-4 or 5-0. There's going to be nothing.
5-4.
5-0. I'll fucking
bro,
perish.
it'll be either 5-4 or
5-0. FaZe will get 1, but like I think like 5-3, 5-2 situation.
No,
is it best of 9? No advantage.
Yep,
Nope.
best of 9, no advantage. Pat, isn't that a fucking insane?
That's crazy.
It's literally insane.
Give me a fucking best of 11.
All right,
continuation.
How do I submit or save predictions? Submit predictions,
it's
bro.
like,
it's over with, bro. The pick'ems are in. The pick'ems are in, folks. The pick'ems are in. That's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. All right, bro.
Long Neck's gonna win a championship, dude. Holy shit.
He's finally gonna get his ring, man. Get revenge for NW.
Finally, like he hasn't been competing for fucking 3 years.
All right.
Well, I mean, the last time it was in Champs Grand Final, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it
Some of us had to wait many moons, Benjay.
Let's see if we got any good questions coming in. We did a Q&A in the community today. Thank you so much to everybody that's been joining the community. We almost got 25,000 members in there. Let's see what's going on here, and let's see if you guys came up with some good questions. First and foremost, which plane seat are you guys sitting at? Are you sitting next to Paco and MC? Neptune Abizi?
Hell no.
I got a good answer for this one. I'd say 10, but I don't think I'd fit. No bullshit.
No.
Like I'd be hanging off the edge of the seat.
No,
it's not taking off with 10.
Partly to my own fault, to be honest. But that is a large.
Off with 10.
Yeah, we're putting too much weight on one
listen,
end.
any middle seat, chalk it. If there's any seat that's a middle seat, I'm not sitting there, bro.
I'm picking 4 because that row is dumb.
Yeah, that row is really dumb, bro. That row.
I'm picking 7 because it's a perfect plane seat. Just gonna be, nice aisle seat. Everybody's gonna mind their own business. It's gonna be a good fucking ride. Sitting next to 1, I'm just getting trolled by MC the entire flight. GG's. Go next.
He's gonna be
4 and 10. 4 and 10 are top 2. It's not even close.
Plane's not taking off with 10, bro.
Absolutely. The plane's not taking off with 10 is insane. All right, let's
they
see.
got to sit down there, man.
What does winning a ring do to FaZe/LA Thieves players' legacies? Are Simp/Abizi top 3 all time? Where does Hydra Envoy land if they get their second ring? Shout out the flank for real. I appreciate you, Jake. What do you guys think?
I don't really think it does much to the Thieves guys, right? Like they're still kind of climbing up the list.
2 rings for Paco and Dill is.
Yeah, but where are they now?
They're like Hydra. They're like a Hydra and Envoy will jump to like Kenny's level. Like if I can think correctly, they'll be around there, and I think right. Kenny,
Ken's got I think.
he still does, but I'm saying around there. I'm not saying I'm not saying above them, but like around there, like the Kenny Shotzi, that sort of like realm.
I mean,
it's
the Chris. I think the crazier one is Simp and Abizi.
If FaZe wins this event, they got to be the GOATs, bro. 3 rings?
No,
you don't think so?
Yeah, but they'd be the only of the
Crim is the
dynasty teams with 2 rings.
I think
Porter's
hold on. I don't know if this is entirely true.
Damon, Clay, and Crim have 3.
Where's Simp and Abizi now? Like in a ranking list?
Not together though. Is what I'm saying.
And one of those.
I don't think that matters.
But Chris would be tied with them. He'd have 3 as well.
But in a top all-time list, bro, you're not weighted based on what you did success-wise with your other teammate, bro. You're looked at individually.
You don't think if Chris comes out to this event, wins, gets MVP, you don't think we're sitting here like Chris continues to just keep doing this, being on a top team, win champs every couple of years, that he's not gonna be in that top 3, top 2, top 1 combo?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest.
He definitely is.
If they win, it's not gonna be like a guaranteed, but it's way more arguable than it is now. Like in terms of where they land or who they surpass.
Guaranteed? Are you guys saying what? Top 3, top 5? What do you mean? What do you guys arguing?
There are Simps already like top 5. No.
100%, bro. If Simp wins this event, bro, what?
If Simp wins this event, he's basically in a conversation with people like Karma and Crim and those guys. He's in the conversation, but I don't really know how much longer it'll be. I don't know how much longer it'll be, whether we guarantee, because Crim is undefined. We are guaranteed the GOAT right now. When will that be surpassed? What metric will they have to complete to do that? A 4th ring or just more majors? How will they do that?
Bro, I feel like a dick saying this, bro. I generally don't know if he can. Bro, and this is why I hate the CDL combo. I feel like you kind of have to split the CWL and the CDL. You literally have to split them.
The eras, yeah.
Eras. Bro, it's
CDL era.
How do you give a guy who's lost almost more than he's won in the grand finals number 1?
Forever go, bro.
Because people have justifications in their head with quote unquote competition.
But it's not you're winning 3 games. You're winning 3 games.
He's been the player in the team to beat for 6 years.
For sure, in a league with 8 teams.
Yeah, and Crim's been the player to beat for a decade.
If Hydra wins champs, he's number 1. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, this guy Paco's unbelievable, man. This guy's doing it everywhere. Counter-Strike, COD. This guy's unreal. I mean, I'll be honest, bro. Regardless, they'll be up there, bro. They'll be up there. You know what I mean? I think their legacies will definitely Pat, I actually kind of agree with you. It's super hard to compare CDL and
I mean,
CDL.
how do you compare 40? How many wins does Simp have? Event wins?
Like 11, I think.
How do you compare 40 to 11, bro? Like,
yeah, that's why I think you just have to split it. You're playing such a different version.
You're 10 events. You're at 10 fucking events in like AW. Yeah.
Yeah, you used to have 16 events that you would
trying
go
to compare accolades it's not, you can't do it.
What separates a good team from a champs winning team? Camaraderie, teamwork, team culture,
talent, map pool,
balls,
everything,
work ethic, coaching staff, fucking map pool.
There's a lot of factors.
Everything that a good team, everything that a good team is good at, a champs winning team is better at.
Ban and protect. We talked about. Bring back the R word. Zoltrix, you need help. Should Call of Duty nerf aim assist to like 0.30? I think it's like 0.60 right now. 100% aim assist should be nerfed. 100%.
Just have extreme drop off of aim assist.
Bro, I'll say this again. I say this all the time. Call of Duty back in the day was way harder. It is way easier now to shoot straight in Call of Duty.
You lost aim assist at like 30 meters.
You just gotta eliminate
there used to be
cross map aim assist.
There used to be gunfights that you couldn't take. You legitimately could not take those fights. And if you did and killed somebody, it was like, wow, what the fuck just happened?
And the reason
people are getting cross map kills like it's nothing.
And the reason you see fucking people being able to run like 4 subs in some metas, bro, is because also back then the gun type determined your aim assist range. So like ARs had further aim assist than subs. So like subs were way harder.
Somebody said in chat, GA aim assist. If aim assist did not exist on a controller, nobody would play on a controller.
It'd be impossible.
Go play on the
key. It's really pointless. It's pointless to do.
128 teams with single elimination until top 16? What the hell? Single elim?
Oh.
I mean, he's just talking about
what is this?
What is this?
Hey, this is just an idea from Danny, from Danny. This is just an idea. He made a
he made a Ben J PowerPoint.
He made a Ben J presentation.
Spelled schedules wrong.
Go back to the homes. You can't do a 128 team single elim tournament. That's an insane idea. What?
They don't even have that many teams trying to play the game anymore, so that's not even possible.
They don't get that many teams signing up, bro.
They got 48 teams signing up for majors now.
Bro, y'all remember when 2Ks used to get like 2,000 fucking teams?
Yeah, bro.
Good 26 tournaments? What the? Yeah, it's this idea, but it's just not realistic.
26 tournaments is fucking crazy.
If FaZe
tournament every other week is just not a reasonable idea.
If FaZe lose early and leave champs early and then they lose EWC, do you expect them to change since they don't have the best record at champs?
If they bomb out of champs in EWC, yeah.
Yeah, I can see them changing too.
Well, to your point, Tom, because you're apparently just putting it out there about their contract status, like they're just, if they aren't the team that wins, like there might be a lot of money coming in from orgs looking to upgrade, looking to get in that upper echelon, and it just at some point everybody's got a fucking price.
I'm hearing Falcons are definitely going to start dropping bags and they're doing it in Counter-Strike. They're going to do the same fucking thing in COD. You're not going to tell me no. Look at what they're doing in Counter-Strike. Okay, and I'm hearing that there's 2 Saudi teams potentially coming in. Bro, there might be some bags being thrown. That's all I'm saying, bro. There might be some movement. If there's bags
and LAG trying to upgrade, like you just
never know, bro. You just never
But here's the thing. Here's the problem though. There may be bags being thrown, but like if you look at the league, what's that going to do? Thieves is locked, right? They just signed new 1+1s. I don't see a world where they break up. They put too much into getting
Hold on. To Tom's point, if Falcons is like what they're doing in CS, what are just meeting they'll price that it is to actually buy people out, then what does it matter at that point? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're offering,
I think Nate keeps the team together. But what I'm saying is like, okay, let's assume that let's look at Falcons and 2 new teams, right? What do they do if they come? There's not 12 fucking players to buy. You know what I mean? Like, the thing I'm trying to say is like, that would work if there were fucking 12 good enough players that they could purchase. But like, all it's going to do is just
they don't need to buy 3. They don't need to buy 3 to surround around AG. That's all they got to do. And it might cost them $1.5 million.
But that's Falcon. That's assuming Falcons gets everybody. What do the other 2 teams do then? Like, what I'm saying is, like, yeah, they could maybe get 1 or 2 of these guys, but like, I feel like it'd just be some Frankenstein teams. You're gonna have like 2 godlike players that you dropped a bag for, and then they're just filling the spots with some filler players.
So why this offseason might get weird? Because if you are someone on Optic, FaZe, and Thieves, where we have talked for the last couple of years about player salaries being squeezed, even for top level pros. You should absolutely use the leverage of other teams coming in, spending a bag, and also playing higher player salaries, even if you want to stick, to play the market so you can get an increase on the raise on the salary that you have. So it might make it weird, and some of those moves might not happen. But if some of these players play their cards right, they can also get a bigger payday going to next season on the team that they're on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we're not going to see new teams just spawn up and have good like theoretically, if this new Saudi team comes in, they're all about it. Like we're just going to see FaZe on a Saudi org, and then FaZe just goes to being average. But like in terms of league disparity, it's going to be the same.
So there's two separate situations. There's the players getting bought out, which I'll back Tom. There's a lot of behind the scenes chatter, and I think it's come from the Falcons org that they're players are talking to players and saying in the off season might have a good situation here if you come over, the grass a little bit greener. The other situation you're talking about is just buying out a whole team, which I don't think is that realistic. I just think at that point, for like
we've talked about this. Players make more money.
I know, but that becomes an emotional decision now at that point.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is players make more money being a good team than they do having a high salary.
Absolutely, league. We've talked about that. We've talked about it a bunch, but everybody's got a price eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's eventually.
But like the Atlanta FaZe guys, for example, like if you look at champs and EWC and them getting top 2 average they're going to make more money sticking together as a team than any salary would pay. They'd probably make double.
That's the point I'm trying to make to you, Pat. Is like if you are someone on that team or Thieves and Optic, that's going back to your org and saying, look, Falcons or maybe 2 Saudi orgs or LAG, they're out here. And if I played for that team, my salary would be way higher. I have a loyalty here, but you need to match the market price for what my talent is worth out there. And they may use that leverage to try and get a 20,
but FaZe could just go, no, we'll pay you the exact same thing. And what I'm saying is anyone who owns a calculator can just do the math and be like, well, shit, if we just all stick, we're going to make more money than we would make if we go over there and make an extra 20% salary.
If I'm that player, I'm like, cool. Then I'm not signing that 1+1, and I'll be a free agent next year, and I can let the market decide what I'm worth.
But
that's the thing.
You're missing the point though. That is irrelevant, bro.
You're right.
20% on 100 or 200 or 300, whatever salary they have, is not comparable to fucking the amount of money these guys are making from winning champs or placing top 2 or winning EW. Like, all that matters is you have a good fucking team. Your salary is almost irrelevant in this league. We're in a 2 to 3 team league. If you have a good team where you can average top 2 in the year, that is what you pick. Every time. You don't question anything else. That's what you pick.
What I will say is that because you can expect that Falcons will probably win, the EWC team prize and get that millions again, bro. They're the one org that can go out there and just absolutely inflate the market if they just want to go out and make a super team, pay insane salaries.
If Falcons is the team that you believe is the good team, then go there. But my point is, all that matters right now in this league for these top players is being on the best team with 3 other godlike players. That's all that matters. Yeah. You will make far and away more money than any salary. It's just not comparable. Yeah. You're not competing against anybody.
I hear what you're saying, but the point I was going to try and make, Pat, is that I think these players have continuously just been rolling these 1+1s. I just don't understand why they're doing it, especially if you're like a top talented player, superstar player. I hear stories. I just don't understand why they just aren't letting themselves become a free agent and letting the market dictate like their salary value. Like that, it seems like just a shit business decision because they're just leaving
because you're gonna
money on the table.
Because you're just gonna re-sign with your org anyway. Like I said, whatever fucking the market values their salary at is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You make more money being on a good team. All that matters and should matter to a player right now is keeping your good team together.
Well, I fear there are a lot of players that don't always think that way.
Well, if they're listening, bro, what do you mean? That's what I'm arguing. I'm arguing about the money. All they have to do is stick together, and they make the most money that any of them are going to make.
And they get some
that is about the money.
And they get some W's.
What are we saying?
I would say, though, in the case of, say, like...
If you're a player and all you care about is money, be on the best team. You make the most money. It's not even close.
But what I would say is, like, FaZe is a weird example because it's like, if you're a player on that team and they have won many majors...
I told you, Tom. I told you the next one.
No way. Let's go, Tom.
There's no fucking way.
No way live on the show.
Are those factory new?
What a field
tested.
Hit the
info, Tom. Hit the info.
Field tested, but still crazy though.
There's no way you just ripped gloves on the phone.
What the hell?
Yo, chat, who remembers when I said in chat his next one was a gold? Who remembers?
No fucking way, bro. And they match Luigi.
Can you go back to back?
Dude, there is no
way I just did that. There's no way. And it matches with the knife. And it matches with the Karambe. Oh, man. I can't believe this shit.
Wait, Tom, they're field tested?
Yeah, they're field tested, Benjay. They're field tested. What the hell?
They're worth 60 right now.
I don't care. That's still incredible. I don't care about the money. It's just crazy. I can't believe I just did that.
Go pull.
I can't believe we just pulled that. I can't believe we just pulled that shit. You know
in the middle of a Benjay and Pat crash out, we ripped the gold, dude.
Nah, that's crazy.
That's the universe telling us.
That's legendary. That's legendary right there. Fuck it out. I was gonna end us off with a question: Is competitive COD dying? Because I saw some people putting that in the community. A lot of people were coming in.
We just spent like a fucking hour talking about it at the beginning, did we not?
Yeah, but I'm just dumbing it down. Is it
Long
dying?
story short, yes.
Everybody else agree?
I mean, if comparing it to what it used to be, absolutely. I don't think it's
dying. Not dying, declining. We'll say.
I think the part that is dying is lower level participation, because I think event attendance and like some of the engagement is still there and viewership still there, but like the biggest noticeable thing is just the amateur scene is just fucking dead. Orgs are dead. New players are just dead. Like that participation funnel is really bad, and eventually it's gonna like really decrease down at the pro level, and that's how the esport will die.
It's already done that though.
Well, it's currently not dead because we have an esport, so no. But
I'm saying like the new talent, like bro, we get one player a season, like that is not sustainable, bro.
I will say that during the years of the CDL, there was a lot more player turnover as far as challengers players making up to pros. Now a lot of them didn't stick, but turnover was there. But that's not what I'm arguing. What I'm arguing is that the 18, 17-year-old crowd, like that funnel of players participating, is not as big as it was compared to CWR as far as teams participating. We've talked about how a need for the CDL and Activision to figure out how to get sub U18 players to actually be able to participate in challengers tournaments so they can, eventually have a path to pro there.
It's been 2.5 hours. Run the outro.
We're going to close it there, guys. We got Call of Duty Champs over the weekend. It does start Thursday through Sunday. Saturday, I will be around for probably the first match or two, but I do got to dip out. Family priorities, man. Got stuff going on. So I'll be at a wedding. So I'm going to try and get Dylan attached on the show to replace me for that day. And then, Benji or somebody's going to have to take over. But we're still going to run the show on Saturday. And of course, I'll be back for Championship Sunday. We'll be right back at it. But I will be here Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. It's just Saturday, unfortunately for me. I won't be there. But I will be watching on my phone. Low-key, I'll be at the wedding with my phone out, peeping the matches, seeing what the results are and stuff. Ben, maybe you could call me in for the show for like a 5-10 minute, get my thoughts real quick. Maybe you could, at the wedding. You know what I mean? Maybe you could call me in.
How slosh you going to be, though, when we call you in?
I won't be. I'm around like family, so I'm not gonna be too crazy, bro. You know what I mean? I won't be too.
That's really responsible, Tom. That's W. That's W.
I won't be drinking too much, or maybe I'll have a bunch of drinks. You call me and I'll be absolutely fucking off the fucking wazoo. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll be away. It's an important wedding, so I can't miss it, chat. So it's kind of unfortunate it landed on the Saturday of COD Champs, but it's okay. There'll be a lot more matches, and I will be back the next day for Championship Sunday, so it's okay. And the show must go on, guys. The show must go on. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go to anchor.fm/theflank. Check out audio says Ron. Guys, new merch coming out. ZooMaa.gg. I already showed my chat some of the designs, and you guys were loving it. So I'm excited for this drop. So if you guys do want something, stay tuned. ZooMaa.gg. It's going to be releasing throughout the weekend, so make sure to check that out. Of course, join the community on X. Join the ZooMAFIA community, closing out at 25. And shout out to Gersh, man. He's doing a phenomenal job running socials as always. But guys, I'm excited, man. Call of Duty Champs right around the corner. We're back to Call of Duty, and let's end the season strong. Even though we got EWC, but I'm excited, bro. I can't wait for COD Champs.
Hey, when is EWC, by the way?
Middle of July, right?
It's the middle of July?
2-3 weeks after.
I thought it was end of July.
I could be bullshitting.
I thought it was end of July.
It's a month for now.
So end of July.
You're gonna fall.
So 3 weeks after champs. Okay.
All right. Guys, we'll see you. We got champs, EWC coming up. We'll obviously be live for all of that. So we'll see you guys, man. Appreciate you guys watching. Take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank, man. We'll see you guys Thursday. Take it easy. Saloli. Peace out.